Hello? Hey Kenneth, how you doing? Yeah, let's party all night. You want to come out and be on the chat tonight? Get to know some people? Let's party. How'd your day go today? Hey Jada, how you doing? You partying? I came out a little earlier. Takes a while to get this thing going, and they don't send out notices most of the time. So, hey Mary, how you doing? How's your day going? Hey Mary, we were talking on the chat the other night, and I told you we got together twice. Do you remember that? And you said once. Remember? Oh, good for you, Kenneth. Hey Faye, how you doing? Do you remember that the other night? Do you remember that? Well, once kayaking, that's right. But I was up there twice. Yeah, that's it. Yep. Hey, Mark, how you doing? How's the pirate radio making it out there? Hey, Chris, how are you? How's it going? Yeah, that's right. Yep, that's it. Yep. Okay, kayaking. Yeah, that was the only thing that could have happened that wasn't twice. Yeah, you're right. Okay, just checking. Just want to make sure you're not getting Alzheimer's. I couldn't remember it at the time too. That's okay. There's a hot one here today. Real burner. Real barn burner. It's going to be hot all week, like 98, 97, that kind of thing. Faye, how you been doing? Hey, Drifter, how's it going? Yeah, I came on earlier. I don't know why I did. I'll tell you, one reason I did it is because, hello, Zonar, is because it takes a while for it to get going. They don't send out notices. And even when like I do this, if no one knows you're on, I mean, you're into it 20 minutes before anybody realizes it. And, it's not that easy when you're relying on people just finding you accidentally as opposed to getting a notice. Yeah, that's about it, isn't it, Kevin? Kenneth? Yeah. Simple Life, she's from down around there. Yeah, it's a state that I've been to a few times, but not one of my favorites, that's for sure. I don't like that whole Mardi Gras bead thing, drinking. Jessie done about the same. Kind of broke up with her boyfriend. Looking rough. No, I don't talk to her. No, but I know people that do. Living up north. I don't know what she's doing exactly substance-wise, but I don't think she's better. Oh, you don't drink, huh, Kenneth? You got to be miserable. Mark, I put a little thing up. I'll put another one up for the 22nd. Did you put one up for the 22nd yet? I'll get texts from people that'll tell me you're on. I think it's hard to find that other channel. The Mark Kropka Pirate Radio isn't, but the Pirate Radio part is. If you're on that thing, how are you getting away with that on Pirate Radio? How are you doing that now when you couldn't do it before? Supposedly, Michelle's going to be able to get a priest to come on here. That'd be nice. Get somebody on here that actually knows what they're talking about. We'll pin them down on the gay priests and communion, stuff like that. Oh, tomorrow. Okay. Hey, Rita, how you doing? Did you get a burner down there today? Yes. Yeah, that's Jesse. Yep. Oh, look. I think Mary's trying to talk on her. Says devices. That's Mary trying to come on. Mary?
Yeah, Tom.
It is you.
Yeah.
Thought I was getting porn bombed.
It won't let me. Yeah, it won't let me use the cam.
It won't let you do what?
Use the camera.
Why?
I don't know. It said my browser is blocking it.
Huh.
Let me look at my settings.
Okay. Well, you're coming in loud and clear.
Well, that's good.
Oh, that's good.
I was going to take you guys for a walk with me.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice. Are you gonna get Are you gonna get a good enough signal? Do you think? I guess not. That's tough signal up where she's at. I don't know who her carrier is. Like I have Verizon, and now that I've got digital calling with this super fast internet and a fast router, I can do it. I couldn't before. But even like around here, this area, Verizon sucks. Oh, good for you, Kenneth. What kind of help you giving people? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I haven't done that much of it. Little tiny things, High 70s. Yeah, you're lucky. Is Oshkosh happened yet, Faye? That's coming up, isn't it? Oshkosh? Yeah, I try to do the straight talk if I can, but I got plenty of enemies. Everybody knows that. I tell them like it is. And I was thinking too, it's been a while for us to get like the kind of people we end up on a typical chat, and it's like kind of common interests. All think the same thing. And, I'm just not interested in having a bunch of anti-vaxxer wackos. It's a certain type personality. Other things come along with it. I could profile them for you if you wanted me to. And it's also insulting for the people that worked in the medical profession like Faye and Mary that know better. I mean, who wants to listen to this kind of bullshit? Most of these people aren't too sharp anyway. So I just can their ass, block them, send them heading down the highway. It's a private chat. This is actually a reprieve from the bullshit we had to put up with neighbors and jobs over the years. We don't like somebody, we get rid of them. Simple as that. And it isn't just like a popularity contest. It's usually their behavior. They're soliciting for money or something like that. It runs the gamut, but they're just annoying. When you're going on your own chat and you're annoyed and your blood pressure goes up, it's time to do something. And some people are just, outright rude. Hey, Salty, how you doing? So I think it's pretty good. You know what I mean? Yeah, I guess Mary couldn't do that. I was afraid of that. I didn't think that would happen up where she's at. Yeah, I really hope Michelle comes through with getting a Catholic priest on here. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Faye, do you still go to church up there in Wisconsin? That's big Catholic territory. Salty, are you a Catholic? Here's Mary again. Going in and out. Keeps saying device is not connected. Mary?
Hey, Tom.
Hello. I don't think you're going to get a good enough signal, are you?
I don't know. I thought I fixed it, but still not working.
Is your weather nice up there?
Yeah, it's a little bit muggy, but it's kind of temperate. It's like in the 70s.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, the birds are just singing in the woods, echoing through. It's really beautiful.
Is it busy up there?
Oh my God! Yes, it is.
I figured that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know that more millionaire millennials live in Traverse City than anywhere in the country?
I read that article.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, and that's something. No, it makes sense then. Why everything's so Price so high.
Yeah.
We got a loving spoonful.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing, Mark?
Good. How's it going?
Good.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mary. Hey, Mary. Good to see you, or sorry to see you.
I'm
She's
working on
trying.
that.
Yeah, she's having a hard time with her camera on her phone.
Yeah, I heard. So I wanted to, you asked me how I am doing with pirate radio these days on the new channel and getting away with playing the music. I have a formula. I play a combination. I don't want to give it away because I
Okay.
might, but I play a combination of songs that are non-copyright from Epidemic Sound. I
Yeah.
usually kick it off with a couple of those. And then I slowly mix in balls to, I call it balls to the wall time. And I put in my good music. There she is.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
and so far so good. I haven't gotten any strikes or anything like that.
Yeah, you know what I had? Well, you know, I've been going through my old external hard drives that I got when I was up in Michigan, and I've been uploading those compilations of videos I've taken over the years.
Yeah.
And when I do, yeah, I just go in and I just kind of, you know, search them. I haven't looked at them myself in a while. A lot of them I didn't use, some I did. But I'll like hook 6 together. And what happens is I'm not watching the whole damn video before I'm splicing them together and uploading them. I'm figuring, you know, if there isn't music playing, I'm not going to watch the whole video to see if there is. But I'm pretty sure there's not. Well, as it turns out, on 2 of those really long ones, people would pull up next to me like at a stoplight.
Yep.
There'd be 14 seconds of a copyrighted song. And I see I got 3 things on that, 3 copyright things, even though the video isn't monetized.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
You're playing other people's content.
yeah, I didn't know it, though. I mean, unknowingly. And it's only like for a while there, YouTube was trying to work it out where if it was 30 seconds or less, they were going to let you get away because it's just wrecking people's videos. I mean, somebody pulls up next to you at a stoplight and you hear 15 seconds of Elton John, you know, what are you going to do?
Yeah, you can't control that. You got to cut it out somehow, though.
Yeah. But then, yeah, it's frustrating. Yep. So I got that in a couple of them. Look at Mary driving. Wow. Hey, Mary. Better not touch the camera. Get a ticket. And the last, can't do that in Michigan anymore. Touch the camera while you're driving. That something?
Where's Mary taking us?
That's a nice area up there. I'd probably taking her dog for a walk.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Yeah. I'm surprised that it's that light up there right now. You're in the clouds. Hey, it's nice.
Here.
29 years, Faye. That's good.
Why, is it dark where you are, Tom?
Yeah, but it's not like a good sample like it is with Mary because I have tall trees all around me. And I'm sure if I could hit a hole in the middle like Mary does driving down the road, it probably wouldn't be this dark. But, you know, the days have been getting shorter since the 21st of June. So, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't like it being laid out at 10 o'clock at night.
You don't like that, eh?
No, the dark, the earlier the better for me.
When I was up in Alberta, it was crazy late there. The sun would go down like 11 o'clock, 10:30.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I've been up in the Arctic Circle in the summertime, and it never gets dark.
That's right. Yeah, that's crazy. Just watch the sun go in circles above you.
Yeah, right around the horizon. Yep. It's interesting. Yeah. Well, that's good. You put a little promo out on that. You got a lot of time to do it. I'll put a better one up. I just put a short up while I remembered it.
Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. I got planned the promo for that. Yeah.
Okay, good. Cool.
And then Saturday will be the day.
Yeah. Now, you could have done, why didn't you pick last night to do the question answer thing?
I had a gig and it got rained out.
Oh,
it
gotcha.
was an annual party I play with another band every year.
Yeah.
And it's an outdoor event. A great
Okay.
party, and great time. But it got rained out. It's postponed for 2 weeks.
Yeah, why aren't you guys, you can go on YouTube and you see bands all over uploading their songs. Why don't you guys do that?
We're going to. My local band that I'm with, we've only been together now 2 months, so we're not quite ready yet to
Yeah.
upload. We'll be playing some gigs starting August, and then into September we're gonna play a few of the local taverns. Now the other band, I upload studio gigs, but I don't know. We just haven't gotten around to that. Nobody takes anything of quality and uploads it.
Okay.
We don't have time because we're playing to take our pictures of ourselves or videotape ourselves. We have to get a friend to do it for us or rely on someone in the audience to videotape it and upload.
Yeah.
And it just hasn't happened yet.
Oh, okay. Now, how does that work when you're playing a copyrighted song as a band and you're uploading it?
No problems. I get a copyright warning, a claim, but I don't get stricken or anything, and I don't have to take it down. I have a whole bunch of copyright songs on my channel that I'm doing just playing piano or playing with the band, and I don't get in any trouble for that.
Well, okay. Now, how do they differentiate that?
I don't know. YouTube works in mysterious ways. You know that.
Sure do. Yeah.
And I don't know how they pick and choose what they're going to hit on and what they're not going to hit on. But I think if an artist does a cover of another song, they let it go. YouTube is filled with artists doing covers of other songs. You've seen it before. And it's all allowed.
Could they monetize it then?
I don't know. I don't know much about monetization.
Okay. Somebody said the other night that they've changed, like they've lowered the requirement or something. There's Mary.
There's Mary.
Mary, can you hear us? Wonder why the sound wouldn't be working.
Yeah.
Beautiful area where she's at.
She's so pretty.
She doesn't look her age.
What's her age?
She doesn't.
No?
What's her age? I think she's 60.
60.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right around there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, what am I talking about? I'm 60.
Maybe 57 or something like that. I forget.
Yeah.
I thought it was around there. Yeah. I don't know.
My age.
You're 60?
I didn't know that. I will be this February.
Mary, can you hear us? Wave to the camera if you hear us. Mary, how old are you? How old are you? 55.
5, 10, 23.
57?
23 in my calculation.
Do it again, Mary. Hold your hand farther back so we can see it.
10.
Over more. 5. 5. Over more in the middle. In the middle. We can't see your hand. 5. 5. 55. 55.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you don't look 55 either. You feel better?
No, you don't look at all 55.
No,
I thought you were 30s. I thought you were 30s or 40s.
Isn't that something?
That is something.
Now you know why she's got a boyfriend.
She does?
Yeah.
Many probably.
Yeah. Yeah, she's timeless. Yeah, good genes, good genetics. Plus, she's healthy. Doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, exercising all the time.
Yeah.
I wonder how she can hear us. How she can hear us, and we can't hear her.
Oh, that's not unusual on the feed.
Really?
Yeah.
But it's well, it is when you're on the panel.
When you have a good connection, but she doesn't have a good connection, and obviously part of the her whatever her audio send back is not working.
Well, she's hearing us.
We can't hear you, Mary.
She hears us though.
She's charading everything. We're playing charades.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh,
Yeah. So
yeah.
now with all this time we've got to do this second one,
Yeah.
we'll just it'll be the same thing as last time.
Yeah, pretty much. We'll let whoever on. The door's wide open, and I gotta prepare some questions to pass the time away. In the meantime, and we'll take questions from the side chat and see who comes on and confronts you.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. It seems hard to keep up with the side chat when you're talking.
It is. It's not. It's an art, I found, but you got to keep one eye on it, and one eye on the on whatever you're doing on the panel.
What's that thing behind your head? Is that a fruit plate hanging on the wall?
No, this. Oops. That
hanging on the wall, way back
right
there.
here. Right
way
here.
Back. Other side.
Oh, way back.
Yeah.
It's
above that computer.
It's a basket with a little ducky in it.
Oh. Okay. So same decoration as the old place.
Yeah. We threw away everything. We were starting from fresh here.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. How about washer and dryer, stuff like that?
Yeah, everything. All new appliances, all new everything. All brand new. The place was completely renovated.
Oh, really?
In and out, like a brand new house.
So nothing to do?
Nothing to do at all. I had to put a shed in.
Mary?
Cut the grass. Hi, Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We couldn't hear you before.
It started raining.
Oh, okay.
You can see that.
I'm 58.
58. Okay.
What did you say? I was 60?
No, I said 60 at first and then 55, somewhere around there. 58.
Okay. Here's Ginger.
Yeah. Well, you don't look 58.
Yeah, this rain just came right out. Unexpected.
Did you get wet?
A little bit.
Oh, okay. Going down to the tribal marina.
Yep.
I love going down there.
Yeah.
How's the Treaty Fish Company doing?
They're doing a really good business. Hang on. Let me.
Gotta say hello. That's a good signal you have, though. Mark, you got to get up there and visit. You'd really like it.
Yeah, I bet I would. I've seen your videos, and I love that country.
Yeah,
I like the bush, hey? Close to the bush.
Clear water. It's nice.
Yeah. I used to spend a lot of time, almost every other weekend. We'd go away with canoes and go into the bush, canoe into portage, that kind of shit, and spend a lot of time in the bush. Sometimes you wouldn't. Yeah, you wouldn't see people for days. Some of the spots we went to, and then it's a kind of a shock when you do come in and you have a lot of people. If it's been a week or so, you got a lot of people around you. It's a bit of a shock.
How far would it be for you to do something like that now?
3.5 hour
Wow.
drive north.
Look at it coming
Okay.
down.
Wow, sure is. Is that somebody fishing, Mary?
Yeah, that's Cindy and her nephew,
Oh,
Christopher.
okay.
No,
All right.
mm-hmm.
Did they do fish stuff today?
Cindy, I'm live streaming on YouTube. Did you want to say hi? We're a live feed right here.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi.
Hi.
Stop it.
Is that your friend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. He was saying, how was the fishing? How's the fishing been?
Okay. It's been okay. But I got that medicine in the mail,
Hmm.
and
Let me.
She's a nice lady. They own a fishing company, catch fish and like sell it to places.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Native American deal, you know.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
they can-
yeah. They got,
Yeah, they can do it all year round, and they sell to restaurants. Plus, you can go in there and buy it from them if you want. I bought it from my neighbors before.
what kind of fishing do they do?
They get mostly lake trout where they're at. I mean, whitefish is further north. They probably get a few here and there, but their main is lake trout.
Can they net it?
Yeah, net it. You know, there's constant controversy up there. The sport fishermen claim the Native Americans have ruined the fishing because they can catch as much as they want, and blah blah blah. And
There's plenty of fish.
yeah, yep.
I
But
think.
yeah, mostly lake trout, which is a great fish to broil. I like it better than whitefish if you're going to broil it.
Yeah, lake trout are tasty.
You don't? Did you ever do that lake fishing?
Do I ever fish on a lake?
Yeah, I mean big lakes go out far.
Oh yeah, I've been on charters on Lake Ontario. I've been in boats on Lake Ontario. Lake Huron, which I spent a lot of time there. My brother's an avid fisherman. Going with him, you go and you're gone for hours, like that's all full day.
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah.
I go to spend time with him, and that's
Yeah.
what I get stuck doing fishing. I'm not a
Oh,
huge
okay.
fisherman. I'm not huge on it. And
Yeah.
I don't really, if I catch a pickerel, maybe I'll eat it because I like pickerel.
Hey,
But that's
Jennifer.
about it.
Oh, okay.
But we got lots of, the fishing up in Ontario is great.
No, I know. Yeah. Catch those monsters.
And your quota right away,
Yeah, I know. Yep.
You just
You know
got to
where
know the spot.
You know where Thessalon is?
What is it?
Thessalon? Thessalon?
Oh, Pepperlaw. Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
Lake Simcoe.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
There's tons of people.
I do a festival in Pepperlaw I haven't done it in a couple of years. It's called Moodstock. Because the guy's name is Moody that owns the big farm, and they call it Moodstock. And it's in Pepperlaw.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you like it, Chris.
I grew up on lakes, and we always had cottages growing up in summer homes.
Yeah.
So I grew up with that shit, being up north and in nature all the time. Ice fishing in the winter.
Oh, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Huh. Did you, what kind of fish would you catch when you went ice fishing?
Oh, I got to remember now. It's been a while. Did it a lot when I was a kid and teenager. I don't want to, perch did we catch? I'm trying to remember. No, not perch.
Oh, okay.
Probably lake trout. Probably.
Really?
I can't answer that question. I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Huh. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. Again, you sit in a hut around a propane heater and shiver and wait for the fish to catch your lure. You know,
Yeah. Yep.
not terribly exciting.
Well, okay.
Stuck in a little hut.
Yeah.
I'd rather dig the hole and be outside.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I quit fishing about 30 some years ago.
Yeah, I've had it all my life. I've had enough.
It's boring. I like digging holes in the ice and put my GoPro camera underneath there,
You do.
but I don't like fishing. Yeah. Yeah, you'd love it up there, Chris. He's not that far. He can make it up there to Canada and get that good fishing. That lady
Sure.
right there, Mary's talking to, she goes out at rough weather on those boats in the winter. Screw that.
Not anymore. I get Social Security.
Oh, you do? Oh,
I
good.
don't have to be crazy in the
You're not
wintertime.
much of a boat guy, Tom?
Yeah, I had some boats. I own
I don't
some
know if they
boats.
can hear us now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Well, I'm
Yep.
gonna go finish up here and
Okay.
go home and hope
Mhm.
that my paint lasts because I just wanted my boat deck looked so bad.
How did you just paint the boat today?
The deck,
Mm.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
all beautiful light gray, white.
Mm.
I got it from Blaine's,
Mm-hmm.
and then should have got down here when it was sunny, but I was going through my med thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I finally got down here, just as we were getting done, this thing blew over, and it started just blowing over. We're not in the big weather system.
Yeah, it caught me unawares. I was walking with Ginger, and all of a sudden it was
It's
like,
okay.
what?
Hi, Ginger. I'm sorry. I just come over here and talk to your mom, and I didn't talk to you. Yes, I'm sorry, Ginger. You're a pretty girl.
She's all wet.
You're a very pretty girl, Ginger. I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah, you've been a good girl, aren't you? Yes. So. Yeah, my dogs, they're all geriatric. They're almost in hospice. So,
Oh.
but we'll do it as long as we can.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And one refuses to walk on my new vinyl floors. We got them installed in like 2018.
Mm-hmm.
We had to put them in the other room where there was still raw wood on the floor, but we just got that floored.
Mm-hmm.
He will not walk in the house, so I have to carry him out. And he walks out in the yard.
Is it a big dog or a little
No,
dog?
they're all babies of
Mhm.
they're all the
Kim and Rosella?
no, they're the children of Pepper. Pepper and Lily's children.
Aww.
And so that was and the doctor and sons, they said just keep them because they were born with inherited it from their parents.
The bad heart?
Yeah. So they've been having medicine for like 14 years.
Yeah.
And she just said nobody else will probably, spend that. But thank goodness we got the farm vet. So we can do them all for the price of one now.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
All right, Cindy, we'll talk to you later.
Bye,
Look at that rain cloud.
Hi, Cindy. Wow. Does Jennifer doesn't know this Smoky guy, does she? Does she? Jennifer, do you know this Smoky guy? Yeah, Smoky's got to go. Bye-bye, Smoky. We'll see you later. There's one down for tonight. Got rid of him, Jennifer. She doesn't know him.
Oh, good shooting, Tex.
What's that?
Good shooting.
Yeah, heck yeah, get rid of him, man. Weirdo. Troll. Yeah, there's a lot of ways they troll you. Coming to help you, saying you're a big jerk. A number of ways to get in and disrupt a conversation. These
You've
people
learned them all over the years.
You haven't had to can anybody on your channel, have you?
Never.
Good.
I have no blocks right now. None.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Everybody comes on is pretty decent.
Oh,
I mean,
good.
I've had visitors from people I don't like very much.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And but I don't associate, or I don't really make them feel welcome, and they usually
Yeah.
disappear right
Oh,
away.
oh, okay. Yeah, I get rid of them right out of the chute.
Yeah, I like your style.
Thank you. You know, you used to be able to go into the list if you accidentally block somebody, but it's not quite like that anymore. You can block somebody, and then you can't find them blocked, so you can't outblock them. It's weird.
Yeah. It's in YouTube Studio. There's a list of your block people that you have blocked. You can find that list.
But it's not accurate.
Oh,
It used to be.
okay,
It used to be.
right.
Yeah. And it's different if you block them from a chat, from a comment they made or a statement they made during a live chat. It used to be good. But, you know, there's people that get blocked accidentally, and it sucks
Right.
because they got to get another ID. They think you're lying to them.
But you just can't find them. Yeah.
Can you see that link that I posted for the chat for this one?
I'm looking.
It should be on the bottom left. I can see it on the bottom left.
Hi,
You don't see it?
Natasha. No, I don't see it.
I wonder why, because here it is again.
I got it now.
But I got it on the StreamYard one too.
Yeah, that's where I'm looking.
And you see it now.
Yes.
Because it's been on mine the whole time. It's been on mine the whole time.
It wasn't just loaded at the bottom, ready to be commented?
No, it's like you cut and paste the number, and then that's how Mary got on. She clicked on it. But see, when I click on it, when I put it on like here, you got to show it. It'll show on YouTube right there, right?
Right.
And then I put show on StreamYard right there. Do you see it now?
Yeah, I saw it the first time you put it up.
On YouTube or on
now.
StreamYard?
StreamYard. I'm not on YouTube now.
Oh, I got you. Okay. All right. Hey, Sonia, how you doing? Okay. Yeah,
Sonia Granowski. Wow, that's a long one, Sonia.
Gornowski?
I need my glass. Is it Granowski?
Yeah, I think it's Gore.
Gornowski. Gornowski.
Sonia, are we pronouncing your name correctly? You might be related, Mark.
Maybe. You never know.
No. Jennifer, Jennifer, why don't you come up? Sonia, why don't you come on? Natasha? Jennifer, I don't think you'd ever been on, have you? Rita, she's been up before. Chris, he's been around. Mary comes up.
We're looking for deer.
Oh, okay. Hey, Mary, are all the cherries growing?
Oh, yeah. They're starting to shake them.
Are they?
Yep.
Okay. Now, do you still see a lot of migrant workers up there?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Huh. Come on, Jennifer.
We got the same families that come up year after year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then they
Where
have
do
a
they
school
come up
and some.
from?
I'm not really sure, but I've never really worked in the crops or anything. But yeah, there's a school that the public school here they have for the migrant kids, so they can go to school every day.
Oh, wow.
Teach them reading and writing and arithmetic.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah.
Then they had Head Start for the babies too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Somebody was telling me like they used to have like a day when the migrant workers, like in the 40s and 50s, they'd all come into downtown, like an event they would have on the weekends. But I don't think they do that anymore.
Boy, it's really raining here.
Yeah, we got a little rain a couple days ago, but not like they don't last long. You get those big old thunder boomers, and then they're gone in a half hour. Sometimes we get like crazy rain for like 30 hours straight, like a water hose.
Wow.
And the ground gets saturated here pretty quick. You'd think with this sand, it'd just sink down to no man's land, but it doesn't. Be big pools of water everywhere.
Really? After the torrential rains?
Yeah, torrential rains. Yeah, get a lot of it. Creeks overflow, that kind of thing.
Neat.
Yeah, I like a good rain. You know, I have metal roofs down here.
Yeah.
And, like the sound of it, really.
Yeah, me too. I sleep with it every night. I put it on YouTube and go to sleep to one of those channels that has thunder and rainstorms.
Yeah.
I put it on every night.
Oh, cool. Now, does that bother you if it loops?
If the loop doesn't bother me. I know where it is, because you can tell.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bother me. I'm asleep in 1 minute.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Close my eyes and I don't even think much. I fall right asleep.
Oh, all right.
I'm lucky that way. I just don't sleep long.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I get texts from people. I can't see the link sometimes. I don't know what the deal is on that. Let me see if I can do this. Let me change this. Like that. Which view do you like the best? This one? This one? This one?
Yeah.
I think this one's the best.
Yeah.
This one. Yeah, good. I think that's a good one like that.
My eyes are rolling to the back of my head now.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know you could do a close-up like that. I'm a little rusty on this thing. I haven't really used it that much. You know?
Yeah, I use reading. I don't know why. I have it loaded in my computer, and they give you 25 hours, I think, a month.
Yeah. I don't know why I got StreamYard. I think I got a free deal, and it was easy, and it worked, and that was good enough for me, no matter how much they charged.
StreamYard is good. StreamYard is just as good, if not better. I just use reading for some reason.
I did all my court things. I've done all my court things through this divorce on stuff like this.
And on what?
I did all my depositions and stuff on a thing like StreamYard.
Oh, okay.
I didn't need to go down there, yeah.
Now, you were saying you had trouble finding my other channel?
Yeah. Like Rita will send me a text and tell me you're on. I can't find that pirate radio.
You gotta subscribe.
I did.
Oh.
You know, usually if someone subscribes, like I'll subscribe back, but I couldn't keep up with them after a while. But if it's somebody that's on the chat that has the channel, I'd make sure I subscribe to those.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. On Saturday, we'll be on my main channel anyways. I got more subscribers.
The main channel is Mark Kropka Pirate Radio, right?
That's correct.
Okay. That's what I thought. Hey, Frederick. Frederick, come on up. Click on that link.
Yeah, we would. Bestow some of your wisdom on us, Frederick.
Yeah, come up, Frederick.
Yeah, want to see what you look like. You think there's something to that, Mark, seeing what somebody looks like?
Oh yeah. I'm so curious.
It's kind of fun to see people's faces.
Yeah.
I think it is.
But a lot of people are shy. More people are shy than anything. Don't want to come up on one of these things.
That's Barry driving.
Maybe Natasha will come up and rap for us.
Yeah. Hey, Natasha, you think you could come up and rap for us?
You know what? I was listening to some of her rap, and
It's
it
good.
got me hooked on rap.
Good.
She's got a great voice and a snappy style that's really works well with music that she creates. She's really talented.
Yeah. Hey, Natasha, you can come up and not show your face. You can just have, how do you do that where she can come up and not show her face? Hey, Anthony, she's coming. She just got off work, Anthony.
Hey, Anthony, you just turn on the camera off. There's an option when you first come on, when you first follow the link,
No.
and then it shows a little picture of you, which is the camera, and a microphone. You leave the microphone on, and you click on the camera, and it turns it off.
Okay. Hey, Jennifer, did you hear that? You guys can come up and you don't need to show your face. Just don't click on the camera.
Yeah, this is what you do.
Yeah, and then you can talk. You don't have to type. Come on, Jennifer.
So we
That sounded
picked berries. We picked berries all day today.
What kind?
We picked blueberries, some red raspberries, some black raspberries, and some mulberries too.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just fun. So fun.
How much? How many of them?
Like 4 quarts of the mulberries, 1 quart of the blueberries, and then I just ate the raspberries off the bush. I didn't put them in a container. I just put them in my mouth.
All wild?
The mulberries are wild, and then my friend Shirley has a berry farm.
Well, that's the one that made the pie for that restaurant we went to.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yep. She made a pie for my birthday too at work. It was so good.
Oh, good.
Fresh
Cool.
raspberries in a pie shell with like whipped cream and cream cheese mixed together on top of it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was so good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Are
Mm-hmm.
you gonna make a pie with your berries?
Me? Actually, no,
Yeah.
I put all mine in the freezer right away, and then because I can't eat a lot of it at once because it like kind of goes right through me.
Right.
Yeah, so I'll just freeze them, and then through the year, whenever I want to eat them, you can just go, take them out of the freezer and eat them like a frozen yummy snack, better than ice cream.
I buy the bags of frozen fruit, and I throw them in a blender. Blend it up. I throw a little ice cream in, whatever. Add some milk, and it's great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Keeps me on in the fruit.
Yep, a lot of good stuff. Mm-hmm.
There's Ron
There
Jeremy.
it is. Chris LeClaire. Chris LeClaire. It's Chris LeClaire.
Is Debbie there
What's
too
going on,
tonight?
Chris? Where's Debbie? You got her tied up with duct tape?
Oh, no, she's laying down.
Oh.
Okay.
What are you
Hi,
eating,
Debbie.
pal?
Hi. What are you eating?
Hi, Debbie.
What'd you make?
Oh, you're welcome.
Seafood chowder.
Oh, good for
Oh,
you.
wow. You eat well.
Hey, Mary.
Yeah.
We were talking about religion the other day, and
Oh, God.
I watched the replay.
Yeah, and I didn't really know how to answer that. Like in general, I know there are variations, but of the Native American beliefs, what is that exactly?
Okay, so there are many different variations, but basically we are connected to every other thing in nature and in the world. Like everything has a spirit, and we are part of everything. Like we're not at the top of a hierarchy like a lot of humans think they are. We are dependent on the plants, and we're dependent on the animals, and we're dependent on the air and the water, and we have to, as because we're part of it, we have to respect it and take care of it. We have stewardship responsibilities for the environment and for all the plants and animals that are around us. And we have a responsibility to each other also to respect each other, and everybody has a place in our community and in our world, not only Native American, but everybody, you know. And so that's the general thread that's through a lot of the Native American religions and spirituality. So tribes, each tribe has a different way that they express that, and also they all have a different variation on the creation story. And so it's just, I guess that's all that I can.
You pray.
We don't pray for ourselves, we pray for each other. And we believe that the ancestors are still with us, but only in the spiritual realm. But they're still with us too, and we can still, like call on them to try to help us or give us guidance.
A child injured after falling off a carnival ride in Chicago.
And how about yeah, thanks, Chris. And how about when it's tits up, where do you go?
So we have the belief that we're spirits already, we're in a human body. So when our human body dies, then we go on to the next part of our journey, which is in the spiritual realm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, good. Why not?
I like that. I like that a lot. I like especially the connection to nature part of it.
Abraham Lincoln was like that.
Well, it makes sense,
Yeah, it does.
There's no shaming. There's no fear.
That's right. Like in the Catholic religion, that one's crazy.
Well, that's, in my opinion, that's just used to manipulate people to conform.
Debbie's Catholic.
That's right.
Debbie was born and raised Catholic.
So was I.
She manipulates you, Chris.
Anymore, though.
Huh?
That's how she manipulates you. Mary, what's your take on the lesbians?
That's actually very interesting that you would ask, because that's a naturally occurring thing. Like people are born who they are, and
Bingo.
and so if people are born different than what you are, that doesn't mean they're wrong.
Yeah. Listen up, Michelle.
And like I said before, and maybe it was because we're so dependent on each other to survive as a community, because you all had to work together to harvest and gather and hunt and get through the hard times too.
Yeah.
You depend on each other. So anyway, so when a person starts choosing what they're going to do as part of the community, they can choose what roles they want to do, like the so-called women's roles or the men roles. And actually we had many different genders that was recognized. And so it was just like, okay, that's so-and-so, and that's who they are, and
Right.
And there wasn't any shaming or people made to conform or anything. Yeah, you just had to be good people and take care of each other and take care of everything around you.
You're not going to be
Now, what'd you say, Mark?
You're not going to be smited. The Lord smites.
Where there were things, people are people, and there were people that acted wrong and acted bad. And so people were like kicked out of groups and things, but that's only if they were harming other people in the community or not acting right or whatever.
Now, how about this? Is there a prerequisite, like anybody on here, if they weren't already, could become Catholic if they went through the ritual? How would a non-Native American become part of your club?
I really don't know. I mean, it's not an exclusive thing. It's just more of a naturalistic view of living your life and living more in a natural way. And so there are organized religions in the tribal communities. There's the Medewan there's a Medewan society. There's the Church of the Rising Sun, and that's also known as the Peyote Church.
Oh, now we're
and there are non-natives that are part of that church, and that's more of the Southwest. Of course, that's where the peyote buds are harvested, and it's part of their religious practice. But I've been invited to go there. My daughter has attended a couple of.
Take me.
Sure, I'll let you know. I mean, I don't know anybody in Georgia that does ceremonies, but I'll look into it for you.
Yeah, thanks. I want to join that one. Hey, Frederick, what are you talking about? If you'd have asked me how we met, I'd have said exactly what you're typing. I know all this. I remember all of it. And if you'd have said, do you remember us meeting, I'd have told you what you're typing. I don't know how you're coming up with this.
So what's
exactly what, if he would have said, do you remember how he went, I would have told him what he's typing. I don't get, why is he putting this on here?
So what's your name?
Whose name?
One talking.
Mary. You know Mary.
Oh, I do? Okay.
Chris, I'm in chat. I say hi to you all the time.
Oh, okay. My bad.
I'm the wind called Mary, or the wind cried Mary.
Mary's like the peacekeeper always.
Yeah. Right.
She's always on your side, and she's always trying to keep the peace.
Absolutely. I mean, it goes to the community thing, You guys are part of my online community.
Well, the community in Branson, Missouri is having an uproar about a drag show, but
that's because they're stupid.
Because they're stupid. So
that's because of right-wing Christians.
They think it's contagious. We got a problem.
The community here thinks it's contagious.
One of my coworkers, she had a bumper sticker on her car, and I thought it was the best saying ever. It said, "Live simply, so others can simply live," and it had like an Indian like person on it with like a hat and stuff. I thought that was the cutest thing ever. She's not Indian, but I thought it was the cutest bumper sticker ever.
You work at Dunkin' Donuts, huh?
Yeah.
Quite is.
Yeah, I'm working at Dunkin' Donuts now.
How do you like that?
She likes it.
Yeah,
it sounds like a great job. Everybody's always happy to see you, I bet.
I mean, it's not. It's definitely probably the worst job I've ever had.
Oh.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's definitely. It's very like like how I've had jobs and they weren't like glamorous or exciting or anything, but like I always felt like a sense of accomplishment and like
you go to college.
Let her finish.
A sense of accomplishment and just like good day's work, whatever. But this, I don't know. This one's kind of like the communications lack all the time, all over the place. I don't really feel connected with the job. So,
you go to college?
Yeah, I went to college.
For what?
For business and paralegal studies.
I did paralegal for 3 years.
Well, you know what? I started paralegal studies, and then I was like, why am I going to school for this? You don't even have to go to school to be a
do
paralegal
now.
in general.
Up here you do now. You got to have a certificate.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a short course. You can do it in under 9 months. But you still got to, back when I did it, you didn't need any certification. Now you do.
All it really is paralegal studies. All you're really doing is just looking stuff up for the lawyer anyways and making a case. You know, it's not really
Yeah. And
you don't really have to
applying
have
for
a
the court,
major
grip on law. No, you don't. It's a lot of serving documents, a lot of taking documents to the court, putting it through the court system. I was serving a lot. I was serving eviction notices, searching for people to serve notices to, divorce notices. I would stake out and wait for people, serve them their notices.
Oh, okay.
It was like a private detective job.
Oh, yeah, cool.
I carried a baseball bat around just in case I had to deliver an eviction notice to someone that didn't want to see me.
You're
always
cop,
have that.
but don't a lot of your police up there, they don't even have guns?
No, they do. They
Oh,
all
they do.
carry serve. Oh yeah.
Well, they used
They
to
all
not
had-
have, didn't they?
No, always,
Oh, okay.
always. You're thinking Britain. Britain,
Huh.
the street cops didn't have guns for the longest times.
Oh,
There's
okay.
a name for them. I forget what they call them. The patrol cop. They had the funny round hats.
Yeah.
And but those days are over now.
Oh,
So
okay.
much
Yeah,
crime.
maybe.
Hey, I mean, you could work at Dunkin' Donuts and clean a store for like a good 4 hours. Take trash out, mop the floor, you know.
I think it's
scrub
humbling.
everything down.
I think it's
But-
humbling.
Yeah, it builds character.
No, it's building depression.
Yeah, really? Is it?
Yeah, it's building depression. That's what it's doing. It's not building there's definitely no
You could
I'm
make
not-
it an
Yeah,
hour.
Well, the thing is, Tom, is it would build character if I ever had, like, let's say I had a major good job where I didn't do stuff like that, but like I'm sick of it. Like I don't want to do labor work. I don't want to do, you know,
Yeah.
cleaning for hours on end, you know.
You could make it an hour. You could make that in an hour on OnlyFans.
Right. Well, the thing is it's like it's just so I don't know.
I take the test.
Um,
About 2 hours on that thing.
You're Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
yeah,
I
like,
had a bumper.
I've
I had
always
a
done
bumper
shit
sticker
jobs.
that said.
This isn't humbling. Hold on.
I used to have a bumper sticker that said, "Get out of my way, I'm late for bingo."
Oh, jeez.
There you go. Yeah, that's right.
That's cute.
I got one. I'm not mad at you. I'm not dealing with you and your drama anymore.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
There's a guy that drives around here with a bumper sticker. It said, "My best friend and my wife ran off together. God, do I miss him."
Or sorry, I can only please one person per day. Today is not your day, and tomorrow isn't too. Promising you either.
There you go. That's a good one too.
And remember, the toes you step on today may be attached to your ass, and you will have to kiss tomorrow.
All right. Hey, now, Mary,
Yeah.
we covered the spiritual issue, but like, with the other religions, I always bring up like if women, as an example, wanted to make money posing nude or something, is that a problem like in the Native American community, like it would be in the
Women posing nude.
to make money? Would that be a big no-no in the Native American community?
Well, you putting things into modern context. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody has their own choices to make. But I guess who's it hurting, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any native rule because we don't really have rules.
Oh, okay.
But you know, people do what they got to do to survive too. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not really in life and death situations anymore. Oops. But
Right.
you know, back in the day before there was any kind of like welfare, for lack of a better word, it was very common for people to have bootleg alcohol. They have alcoholic stills, and that's how they made money to buy food and buy clothes for their kids and things like that. I'm talking like early 1900s, 1900s,
Yeah.
mid 1900s, like that. Because there
I
weren't.
wanted to ask you, Mary, do you go to temple? How often?
Never.
Oh, okay. Nice. I'm liking this.
Well,
What temple you talking about?
yeah, I don't.
In temple to worship, not to worship, to whatever you do, to
Oh,
meditate.
oh yeah, every day out in the woods.
Nice.
I was just
That's
there.
how I feel.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's not. You were talking about a structure, weren't you, Mark?
Yeah, go to like most religions, they have temples where
Yeah.
they go and they do their whatever ritual that they have, and I like the out in the woods is the Creator's temple.
So, you know, like I said before, we don't really have organized religions. We have Medewin, and they have like a longhouse that they gather in and have spring ceremonies and winter ceremonies. They meet like 4 times a year. And then the Coyote Church, I don't really know how often they get together, like once a month. But they stay up all night from like Saturday night into when the sun rises Sunday morning. So that's kind of hard on you physically. So they don't gather too much. But what we do is our beliefs are that you have to live every day in a ceremonious way. Like everything you do is part of ceremony. So you just try to be mindful of to give thanks for things that you have or the people that are around you, or you know, being able to do the things that you do in good health, and they have enough good food to eat and have good people to be around. So, you know, just to look at things in a ceremonial way.
You know what's funny is when I I just want to say when I worked at a grocery store and I worked overnights, and it was called, you know, we worked the night crew, so we all had to, you know, just stocking shelves, unloading trucks. And it was funny because the manager, we didn't call him, his title wasn't manager, it was crew chief. And he was always like the chief. And it was always about that. Like everybody, how, like, you know, the younger kids did the, you know what I mean? Did the more heavy lifting because we had it was like a whole variety of people. Like it wasn't just young kids doing it. It was, you know, we had all ages, and that's what they would do. So it's kind of funny that you would say something like that, because that's kind of like how we always got our job done at the end of the day. Like the younger kids would, you know, do the more strenuous that the older, you know,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
older adults couldn't do. And we all kind of worked in like nobody got pissed, you know, no, and I even said, I'm like, I don't mind doing more work, you know.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
healthy, and you know, I can
Mm-hmm.
still do stuff like this than the, you know, 40, 50-year-old person. And I really didn't mind it, you know, in a sense, I really didn't. And the funny thing is too, is I was probably getting paid less than they were doing twice the amount of work. But for some reason, it was just like you said, like a harmonious, like everyone got along. Like it was just weird. It just worked.
Hey, Dolly.
Hi, Dolly.
So you
I
all
can't-
chimed in.
I can't see chat.
Why?
Because I have to turn StreamYard off.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's on StreamYard. It's over. What do you want? A telephone?
Yeah, I'm on it. Mm-hmm.
You
Oh,
can't
yeah,
see
maybe
both.
it's
One or the
not
other.
on a telephone. I see both. I'm on a tablet, and I see both.
Yeah, I see both. I'm on a computer. I mean, phones are great, but it's not the same as a laptop or a desktop.
No, not for this.
And even the applications come up different. You can do so much more stuff on a regular computer than you can on a phone with YouTube. It's different.
I use a phone. I have a tablet and a couple of computers, and depending on the application, I use my tablet the most.
Do you have a fast internet speed?
Yeah, fast as you can get up here.
Oh, good for you. Is it expensive?
No, it's like $89 a month. All you can download and upload, unlimited.
Oh, good for you. Good.
Yeah,
Cool.
I got for that price. I had them throw TV in too. I don't even use it. I don't have a TV.
Yeah, I never watch TV. I shouldn't say I watched it today, but I don't think I'm going to get it. There's not enough good shows on. I will pay a lot for fast internet though. But that internet TV doesn't seem to be as good to me as real TV, which also sucks.
I watch a lot of. We stream a lot of movies. I don't watch.
Marty's like that. Marty's like that.
Yeah.
I can't sit still that long.
Yeah, me neither. I got to get up and do something.
Yeah, I like doing something while I'm watching TV.
Yeah, I usually build something.
Yeah.
Or take something
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah. Right. Yep. Yeah, sure do.
I know. I'm the same.
Yeah. Mary, have you had any of those powwows this summer?
Yeah, actually, Manistee just had one this weekend.
How about your area?
That's in August.
Are you having it?
Yeah, yep, August 3rd weekend.
Okay. And can anybody come to that?
Absolutely, we want people to come. Yep, it's a big social event. So yeah, come and we have people from other reservations and other states coming, and vendors show up, sell food, and they sell their artwork.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do
Mhm.
you get like one of those beaded things?
Yes. Yes, you can get beaded things.
All right. What do they call that?
Well, there's a lot of things that you can bead, like earrings and necklaces
What
and
you hang
bracelets.
on a wall.
A beaded wall hanging?
Yeah, you see them at a casino sometimes, like in a glass display. They're old.
Huh.
It's like a basket made out of beads. Like really cool designs.
Oh yeah. Not sure.
And
But
the food's Native American stuff, of course, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And what would that be like that I wouldn't be used, that I probably haven't seen if I showed up to it? What kind of food would you have?
Well, there's a variety. So there's this thing called fry bread, and actually that came from after Europeans came to America with flour, but it's super good, and it's just like a fluffy bread that's deep fried quickly, so it fluffs up.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and it's you can put butter in it, or honey, or sugar and cinnamon, or some people use it like a hamburger bun. We have Indian tacos where you just make a flat fry bread and put a bunch of veggies on top. And then a lot of soups. There's corn soup, and we call that dab nabu. There's wild rice soup, minomen, and like blanket dogs, where they put hot dogs with fry bread around it and deep fry it. So that's really not very healthy, but kids like that. And then some people are more traditional and they'll bring fresh fish and they'll fix it however people want it to be fixed. Yeah, my friend who has a big family down by Gun Lake, her daughter and her hubby is a chef and he has a food truck, and they go to all the events, like native events, but also food events like in Grand Rapids and Wayland.
Mhm.
And he has fresh fish, and then he has wild rice dishes, and just a lot of different interpretations using traditional foods.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mark wants to know if he can buy a bow and arrow there.
Maybe, but some grandma made it, so it's not gonna be useful. Just probably just gonna be decorative.
Right. Oh God. Maybe
Yeah.
told Whitey to think of something like that.
Yeah, they have.
Blame my school teachers for that one.
Oh, okay. But Mark, yeah, there's powwows all around in Ontario.
I know there is. I've been to one before.
Oh, right on.
I used to go to one just outside of Jackson's Point on a yearly basis.
Nice.
And it was, I used to camp on an Indian reserve, Wata Indians, north of Toronto, and we used to hang out together with them, and they were really, they taught us a lot, and they were really hospitable. We had a lot of fun together. I miss doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm looking at.
I've read. Yeah. There have been some pretty big issues up there with, like Indian reservations and the FBI in the United States. And I know there's been some clashes in Canada with like the Royal Mounted Police and some of the reservations. Remember that, Mark?
Yeah, we had, what was it? Not Bala. It's on the tip of my tongue. Oka. The Oka Reserve had a standoff with Canadian Mounted Police, and then it happened again. I don't understand this one, what was going on, but it was a land issue, and they had a standoff in Caledon at the Caledon Reserve.
So a lot of our conflicts, our modern conflicts, have to do with things like minings and oil pipelines that we see as disrupting the environment, like potentially harming the environment, or actually harming the environment, like mining the uranium out on the reses out west, and then they never cleaned it up or did any kind of remediation for the contamination that happened. There are reservations out there that haven't had fresh water in like 40 years. They have to truck in all of their fresh water. But yeah, so a lot of the standoffs we have, like when we were in Hawaii in May, there were some people that were trying to protect one of their sacred mountaintops for I think it was, I can't remember, like 14 or 18 telescopes that when they made the first one, they said, this is the only one we're going to put on the mountaintop, and you don't have to worry, this is going to last forever. But then it didn't last forever, and then they put a second one. They said, yeah, this is the second one. We're not going to put any more up. And then it just kept happening and happening and happening. And so, some of the lands are traditionally held in trust for the Native Hawaiians. And so we believe that there are sacred areas where we have our ancestors buried, or where we would go and collect medicines, traditional medicines, or have ceremonies, or we have legends on certain places. And so we try to protect those areas and say, like, stop, don't destroy this. And the only way we can do it is by peacefully demonstrating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, we can't take up arms or anything, right? Because then we'd get mowed over.
Yeah, true.
We would get shot in a heartbeat.
They shot some in Canada.
Yeah, probably.
I'm trying to remember if anybody was shot.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, there were. I think they shot some mounted police too.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
That's
a big
all
deal.
Oka. Yeah.
Yeah. Where is that in Canada, that big reservation?
It's just about 3 hours east of me.
Oh, okay. Now, are the Native
if I
Americans,
was in Toronto.
do the Native Americans have casinos there in Canada?
Well, yeah, they do. There's several. I think every reserve now has a casino.
Oh, okay.
There's casinos, so many casinos now up here, it's ridiculous. And I guess you got them down there too. They're pavilions that have one-armed bandits and easy gambling. No table games, but mostly bandits. And they have a lot of those too.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Huh. I know they have a lot of them in Michigan. I mean, relatively speaking. Wasn't that a deal by Reagan to get Native Americans off the public assistance rolls? Isn't that how that all started?
Well, funny you should say that. So there's the thing called a treaty that was made in, like, I don't really know when the earliest ones were, like probably 1700s, and most of the ones in Michigan were from the early 1800s, like 1836 and 1852. But so what the treaties were agreements. They were like contracts. And so in essence, Native Americans would leave a certain area and have like half of the state of Michigan was open for settlement and the other half was set aside as Indian land, right? That's part of the treaties. And so every treaty language had the provisions of healthcare, education, and the protection of the trust land, right? And so through the years, that's how we've been able to have a powerful voice in protecting the environment, because it's like we have a vested interest in the land and the natural resources and whatnot. But we have the tuition waivers in the state of Michigan also that fulfills the educational part of the treaty. And then Indian Health Service is the healthcare part of the treaties. Okay, so that's called, isn't that fiduciary, the federal fiduciary responsibilities?
Mm-hmm.
Am I saying that right?
Yes.
So, and that's what it is. It's sort of like rent for opening up our lands to colonization and settlers and so on and so forth. So through the years, that's been forgotten. The treaty languages has been forgotten. And so when we have like IHS, or we have certain rights to hunt or fish or whatever, people have resented that and said, you guys shouldn't be able to do that. We can't do it, so you shouldn't do it, and whatnot. So it hasn't really been exactly welfare. It's just been like compensation from the treaty language. But on a bad note, that does put us in a more of a dependent position with the government. That a lot of times that we're not on, we don't have a lot of like opportunities to go to leave the reservations, so to speak. Where I live, it's really beautiful and there's a lot of things to do. But like out west, it's just like a dead zone where their reservations are on Rosebud and Pine
Yeah.
Ridge
Yeah, right. Yeah.
and up in Alaska. Huh?
I think Tom visited a few.
Yeah, I
like
did.
that.
Yeah. Yep. And Mary,
Yeah.
isn't it true that one problem like Native Americans have is these reservations are technically leases. So
Yeah.
if you have a building or a home that you want to build, you can't do it because you're not the property owner.
Well, we like on my reservation, it's a collective ownership, like the tribe owns it. And I don't really know, bottom line, I couldn't tell you definitely who has final ownership, if it's the federal government or if it's the tribe, because it's called trust. It's in federal trust. And
But
so like my house and my lot, so to speak, it's a 99-year lease. So, but we all own it. Like every member of the tribe owns all of the land that's on the reservation. Like our casinos, we're all owners of the casino and the resort.
But if you did traditional financing like in the United States or Michigan,
Yeah.
and you went to a bank,
No.
they're not going to want to give you a loan on a building on a piece of land that's leased as opposed to
Yeah.
owning it, right?
Nope. Yep. Nope. They don't
See what
do
I mean,
it.
Mark? So
They don't
everybody
like it.
thinks, they just out west they give them these 10,000 acres to live for free. It's not. It is free but with a huge catch, and it's one of the big difficulties Native Americans have had with regard to owning businesses. They can't get financing.
Well, they can't secure the land. That's why.
Yeah, that's it. That's why. That's it. Yep.
They can secure the house and the building, but they can't do anything with it unless they sell it to another tribal member.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like my neighbor Bob, my neighbor Bob down the road, he bought a shed, really nice shed. It was like $20,000 shed.
Yeah.
And then he defaulted on the loan or whatever. But yeah, they were able to come and just snatch it up and they took it away.
Oh, wow.
Something like that is, you can get financing on something that they can come and repossess.
Yeah. Right. Yep. Now, if I came over there and cracked you into the side of the head because you said something nasty about me on a chat, would I be charged federally?
Well, you would if you survived.
No, thank you. Okay. That's
I'd have
important to know.
I'd have the Indian mafia after you.
Yeah. I would be arrested by a tribal police, right?
Well,
On a federal charge?
you know it. Yep. It's a federal offense.
Really?
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
Oh yeah, you adjudicated in the federal courts.
Oh, really? Assault and
Yeah.
battery?
Huh?
Assault and battery would be in a federal court.
Oh yeah. Go down
You
to
got to
Grand
go down to
Rapids.
Bay City, don't you?
Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids. Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Huh.
And then, it'll go through the trial and judgment or whatever needs to happen. And they may remand people over to a state prison or whatever. It depends on the severity of the crime.
And that's also, Mark, that's also a problem with these trafficked young Native American women across the country, because there's a jurisdiction issue on who can do what when they're missing outside the reservation.
Yeah.
Basically, traditional police have no autonomy.
Well, up here we have MOUs, memorandum of understanding, and our deputies are deputized with county and county to tribal.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. So
Huh.
tribal police can pull over and ticket people that are off the res.
Yeah, through state laws and local ordinances.
Well,
They
yeah,
write, they write you under a different statute.
it's that memorandum of that MOU.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not everywhere, is it?
It has to be something that is worked out between agencies.
Interesting. Huh.
Mm-hmm. If they want to have that agreement and work together. Up here, it benefits everybody because once again, we're rural and we're off the beaten path, and so they have to help each other. I think we have like one state cop for the whole county.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And then I don't know how many county officers, but
So
and
any
then,
reservation, you're considered a sovereign nation.
yep. Yeah, and that goes back to that treaty. That treaty language is government to government agreement. And so that's why it's been binding. And getting back to that, and you said something about Reagan trying to get Indians off welfare. Truly, what probably happened, because I don't remember exactly, that was like in the late 70s, early 80s, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I didn't really pay too much attention to politics. But so that's been the goal of some of the politicians to dissolve the sovereign rights of tribal nations. And so what that means is they don't want to honor the treaty language. They want to dissolve the treaties. So they don't want to give special status to Native Americans anymore. They're always trying to dissolve the tribal recognition, and which actually within the last 4 years, I think it was it happened in Massachusetts. There was a tribe that had their federal status taken away, which meant that they were not recognized as a tribe anymore by the federal government. And so when that happens, then they don't have to honor the treaty rights, or I mean the treaty language and the contract that was made. And so that was fought, and the tribal nation got their status back. But it was really funny that that happened under the what was it? There was some guy who was trying to open up a casino in the area. So you have to wonder, what's the driving force behind all of that? You got to follow the money. That'll lead you to what the motivating factors were.
So it's got to be a little rough getting represented in Congress.
It has been. There's been a lot of corruption, of course, when you have money, and there's always corruption. But now we have a Native American for the first time at the head of the BIA. Yeah, Deb Holland.
Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't that kind of an old way of describing it? The Bureau of Indian Affairs?
Well, that's what it's called. The BIA. You know what? The BIA is under the Department of the Interior.
Right.
So I used to like to say that we're a national asset, like a state park or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Huh. And everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people think that every place where there's a reservation in a casino, that all the Native Americans sit home and do nothing and cash checks and get drunk.
I know I know the reservation that's by my house, the Seneca reservation. When I
Your
go there,
volume's a little low, Michelle.
oh, I'm sorry. So the Seneca Nation reservations by my house, and when I go there, it always seems like it's like poor and like desolate. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like a it doesn't seem like a very like thriving community.
You say I like that.
And I mean, I don't know like every person that's there and whatever, but like it's definitely not like when I go to the reservations, it's not like how it is off of the reservations. So I was just wondering if they have issues like build it, like if they can't have like there's really no I well for I guess like commercialized like places or grocery stores or any of that. Is it because they just don't want that in the reservation, or is it because they?
Can't get loans.
I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know
Well,
what the deal
I
is.
don't know. I wouldn't know. Like I said before, every reservation is different.
Okay.
Economically speaking, like comparing where I live to a reservation, like I said, out west, where there's very little opportunity to go to school or just like walk down the road and get a job here or there or whatever. And then also, there's been some things that have happened through the communities, like for the past couple of generations. It's been, getting back to the treaties again and the desire to dissolve the treaties. There's been a federal policy of termination meaning terminating the treaties. And because of that, a lot of Native kids were taken out of the families and put in boarding schools so that they wanted to take them away from their culture and from their language and from their families, and taught how to speak English and forget their tribal ways. And that's been devastating to the families, because that's where you have a strong community, is when you have strong families. And unfortunately, a lot of the kids died in boarding school, and they're just now finding all the graves of all the children that died in boarding schools, and it's like just a horror show.
Yeah,
It's just
no.
horrible.
Well, I've always
Oh my
noticed.
God. You wouldn't believe the problems we have up here with that under the Catholic schools. The old ones, they pick up 900, 1,400 in cases of graves of children.
Yeah, isn't it horrible? I mean, if it was
Catholic
such,
schools?
huh?
Did he say Catholic schools?
No, it was run by
Yeah,
The Catholic Church.
Oh, the Catholic Church.
that's
Hear
why
that,
we had the
Michelle?
Pope come and visit us. The Pope came and did a half-ass sort of apology.
Yeah, it's been very traumatic. And then the kids that survived the boarding schools just been scarred for life. And then, they're removed from their culture, but they're obviously Native Americans, so they don't really fit into the bigger community. And a lot of them fall into alcohol abuse and drug abuse and are homeless, living on the street, and just struggle for the rest of their life trying to come to terms with what happened to them as kids.
Yeah, I've always noticed that there's well, the one reservation that I go to here, there's a big spray painted thing that's on a bridge, like hating some kind of like sheriff or congressperson or whatever. So I don't know exactly where that stemmed from,
Hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the big picture, big huge picture of this guy's face. I don't know who the guy is, but there's definitely a lot of animosity, I would say.
Yeah. So there's just been really crazy governmental policies that have been imposed on the tribal communities with like boarding schools. And then in the 60s, they were still had boarding schools, but then they just started, it's called the 60s scoop. They just started coming and taking the little Indian kids out of their families and putting them into the foster care or adopt them out, which actually, if you look at it, is huge moneymaker for the agencies that broker the kids. It's really bizarre. Like $30,000 they'll get that much money for a baby from families that want to adopt a child. It's insane. But anyway, like up into the 70s, it was against the law for us to practice our religion and to have powwows and whatnot until an act of Congress made it okay for us to do the things that we were already doing, you know?
So do you think that do you think it's kind of like almost like the Nazis and stuff? Like, do you think that maybe there's some bullying going on between, it's still going on today between the Native Americans and the non-Native Americans?
Yep.
Well, interestingly, Hitler used
Yeah, the native insignia.
the native insignia, but also how the United States federal government treated Native Americans and put them on reservations and
Right.
did this or that. That's how he patterned his concentration camps. He got the idea from the Indian policy.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy, huh? Craziness.
That is.
Well,
I
that's
seen
what
it
it
on
just sounds like, just listening to, what you're saying and
Well,
the things that's happened and everything. I feel like there's still a lot of like pent up animosity.
I think that a lot of frustration happens just because this is what actually happened to us, and some of it's still happening that nobody
Right.
knows.
Right. Well,
Nobody
that's why
knows
I
about.
asked you, because it always seemed, every time I would go to the reservation, it just seemed like, not like towards me. I wouldn't say towards me. Like I would just like observe and, try to get the feel of, people and everything else. And it was just like, I don't know.
Hey, Michelle, do you get your cigarettes at the reservation?
Oh yeah, I used to. Oh yeah, because they were so cheap. Are you kidding
Yeah.
No
me?
taxes.
They're like
No taxes.
they're like
Rocket.
$2 a pack at the reservation. They're like $14 a pack here.
Yep.
They do not want you smoking anymore. Like that's probably the next thing that's gonna be like they're gonna put a ban on cigarettes. I can just see it now. They're already trying to ban menthol cigarettes in
They
New
did up
York.
here. I told you.
They're
Really?
Gone up here. Yeah, you can't get them.
What does menthol do?
Because no, menthol's a plant, so it makes it taste.
I know,
like
but what's it do in
mint.
cigarettes?
It makes the cigarette taste like more minty than just like tobacco. So like instead of just getting that hard tobacco taste, it's like a
Yeah.
little bit more. It's like minty flavored. But
Yeah,
what?
cool kind of
But the
cool
thing,
flavor.
but the thing that I don't appreciate is, okay, so if you're gonna ban menthol cigarettes, right, because they're so horrible for you and whatever, I understand, okay, then how come you just legalized all these vapes? They have all these different fruity flavors and everything else. Like, what's going on here? Oh,
Glycerin.
we gotta get rid of menthol cigarettes. But here is a line of vapes that we have no idea exactly the long-term effects. We know that they're not good for you, so we're gonna put a warning out, But here, we're gonna ban this, but bring on like you really gotta. It's one of those things.
Yeah, I don't trust vapes. Glycerin, that's what it is. Glycerin and flavorant and sometimes nicotine.
So when I see people doing these vape things
Yeah.
instead of smoking, what are they hoping for?
They have
It's the hand-to-mouth action that they got from when they were smoking, if they're doing it to quit smoking, and it's still having that puff of smoke come out of their lungs.
no, the thing is people are like, oh, because it doesn't smell. It smells like Fruit Loops, which is probably drawing more kids to want to do it. They're like, oh, because it doesn't smell like an icky cigarette, and I can sneak this because you're technically not supposed to vape indoors in places, but they could sneak it, and people won't be as offended because they're not smelling that strong smoke. But I also tested it on my air filter. I have a couple air filters in my house, and I blew cigarette smoke into it. It went up twice as much blowing one of those vape things into it, twice as much when I blew
Wow.
the smoke of the vape.
Isn't it the propellants that hurt lungs in the vapes, what
Yeah.
they're using?
Yeah. I
They're
would
both
say
proven. Yeah, they're both proven to hurt your lungs. So I mean, like either way, it's kind of like saying, how they would say like no cigarettes, a safe cigarette or whatever, because they made light cigarettes and all this. But I just, it's one of those things.
Oh, Mary got kicked off. I
Oh,
didn't even realize it.
there she is.
She got kicked off somehow. I don't know how.
Oh, I
Mary?
I was messing around with the buttons and I pushed the wrong button.
Okay. You heard us though, didn't you?
Yeah, somewhat. You guys were talking about cigarettes.
Yeah, is this vaping hitting the Native American teenagers?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Huh.
I think less kids are smoking now though. I think it's finally sinking in to not smoke. But yeah, Michelle, you were saying that people were gonna try to restrict your smoking and try to get you to quit. And actually, I think that they don't want you to quit smoking because they're making big bucks on you guys, like smoking.
well, the thing is they're trying to ban menthol cigarettes with in New York State, but my whole argument was they're like, oh, we got to ban menthol cigarettes because they're so bad for you. But here's a line of vapes that we just brought on the market. So, and no one really knows long-term effects from vaping, like it's so new. It's not like cigarettes where, yeah, people did it for like 40, 50 years and then they're like, oh, wow, okay, well, that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's when it started being a bad idea, was
Oh,
when, they started finding out like, oh, if you smoke for, this long, this is what it does to your body or
yeah.
potentially.
Hey, Michelle. So I know you tried quitting smoking, and I know a lot of other people have. What's the main struggle here that keeps you from getting over the hump? How
So,
would you describe it?
so this is the deal. I've quit smoking before. Um, and you have to have the right mindset first of all. So no one can tell you, like just like any like person who has any kind of any kind of addiction, like you can tell somebody till they're blue in the face this is what you need to do, but until they set their mind to it, like really set your mind to it, um you could tell your mother, brother, son, whatever, you shouldn't do that, but they're going to do it. But the main issue is you have to get over the habit. It's not even the addiction. The addiction's easy. Like I know how you said like, oh, yes, the addiction kind of sucks, but literally what happens for like the first couple weeks is like every like depending on how much you smoke too, but like every 4 hours you get like this like you get real like pissy for like 5 minutes. and then it passes. Literally 5 minutes and it passes. Like you just get very aggravated. So like, let's say you're at work, right? And you'll be okay. You'll be like, a sound person, and then all of a sudden, like you'll get like this, you get really aggravated and pissed off, and everything will piss you off for like basically like 5 to 10 minutes, and then it goes away. But it's a habit.
So what's a trigger for you?
Work, people, I don't know. I mean, like, I've always worked with the general public, so I mean, it's not like I had this job where it was very controlled and, I sat at a desk and like this is what I do. You know what I mean? Like people piss me off. I deal with the general public and I have to deal with them, and I can't, you can't, I can't, if someone pisses me off or is an asshole, I can't just be like, fuck you, you
Yeah.
can't just do that. Like, you just got to deal with it. So that could do it, coworkers could do it, like, so like it's basically life. Anything that would piss you off in your normal life would probably trigger someone who is trying to quit smoking to have a cigarette, because let's face it, people are assholes. Not everybody, but like
Yeah.
day to day, when you deal with hundreds of people,
Yeah.
that's just how it is. So, I mean, like anything could trigger me, to want to have a cigarette. But it's like after about like 2 weeks, you don't get that like intense urge anymore. And it's basically the habit. And that was the hardest thing for me to break, was the habit, because that was my peace time. That was I can breathe. That was my alone time. That's where I could find my happy place. Because like, I mean, even as I'm sure Mary relates to this a little bit, like having kids and stuff and a family, like it's not like you're just by yourself and you can just like like there's things that you got to deal with on a day-to-day basis, and
Oh yeah,
family and stuff, and it's like
yeah. I
that
would.
that could, when you want that, just that time where you're like, oh, like, and it makes you feel more relaxed. It's like when you go and have a beer. Like when people go home and they're like, oh, I had a long day of work, I just want a couple beers, I just want to unwind, maybe watch TV or whatever. Well, to me, that was like, okay, give me like 5 minutes so I can like meditate. My meditation included having a cigarette, to get in a better mind frame so I could go and be positive, and carry on.
Yeah.
Basically.
Mark, what's your
Yeah.
excuse? What's your excuse?
I started smoking when I was like 12 or something like that. And off and on, I've been smoking my whole life. I had bouts where like years and years, I would just smoke on weekends when I drank beer. And now I smoke a little heavier. I smoke about 10 a day or so, sometimes a few more. I shouldn't. And yeah, I have no excuses. I
Okay.
enjoy it.
Yeah,
I
my
like
sister said that. My sister said that. She said that every cigarette she ever smoked, she enjoyed.
I mean, sometimes I would smoke out of like if I was
Yeah,
like
it is.
boredom or something. I mean, like, but it's definitely like a habit that's just hard to break, because like,
Hey, Jeff.
when my son was younger and everything, I'd make sure I'd wake up like an hour before I knew that, everything had to get done, just so I could have my coffee, have a cigarette, do my own thing first before I had to attend to other things. And like even when it comes to work, you know, like I don't have my office space that I can go retreat to. I don't have, the luxury of, listening to music, or, you know, maybe
Why?
coworkers I'm friends with. Like it was like, okay, I get to go to my car and have a cigarette and listen to some music.
What'd you say, Mark?
No, it's okay. I misunderstood for a minute, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Mark, you say the hand to mouth action, but it's really the nicotine, isn't it?
That's the core thing. When you take a drag of a cigarette, you get a little bit of, especially if you just smoke a little bit every day, you get a little bit of a head buzz from the nicotine and the smoke that you're inhaling.
Mm-hmm.
You're the lack of oxygen, I would guess, is a contributing factor, and people you get addicted to that.
Huh.
And then nicotine's, I'm pretty sure it's the main thing that you get addicted to in cigarettes.
Huh.
It's like this. Think of it like this. Like, what do you do when you get stressed, nervous, or anxious? Like, what do you do? Because everyone does something when they get really like overwhelmed or um whatever the case may be. Now,
Well,
smoking isn't the
This is kind
healthiest
of a
choice, you know,
this
but
is
like
kind of a fun conversation because I gave up drinking. I haven't had a drink in probably, I don't know, a year and a half, couple of years, but I gave it up years ago. I don't drink very often. And then I'm having some drinks tonight. So cheers, Tom.
oh, thank you. Thank you. Same here. I hate to be an enabler. You've come
Yeah.
to the wrong channel if you're trying to quit. Yeah, I don't
Sorry.
think I've been like drunk, like, I mean, I'm lucky that I'm not like that. I have a couple beers, that's it. Like I buy this beer and I'll drink two at a time, once in a while, three, but usually just two. And that's enough.
Yeah.
Where an alcoholic, like, they, the more they drink, the better they feel and they can't quit. I'm glad
Yeah.
I'm not that. My
I
parents
mean,
were
I was like,
alcoholics.
I drank a lot for years, like especially when I started out in construction. I would
Yeah.
have 6 beers every night, religiously 6. And I didn't like it, so I stopped doing it years ago. And I had no problem quitting. I just stopped. It's a mindset. You got to decide that you don't want to do it anymore, and it's freaking bothering you to do it. Then you got to sort of say, stand up, be a human, and be responsible and do the right thing.
yeah, well, like I said, the thing with me, and I can't say for everybody else, the hardest part for me was breaking the habit. So I had to find things to do when I was like, when I quit smoking, I ran like 2 miles a day. I had so much more energy, like more energy that I already had. And like I had to find just, I had to keep busy. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't like, and that's kind of like when you're breaking the addiction, like as soon as you feel that urge, you just distract yourself by doing something else, that, I mean, that's what it is. It's mind over matter. I mean, it's not, the physical addiction is nothing. Like, it's not like I was shaking or anything else. I would just get real, what, for like
Mhm.
about 5 minutes, like it would hit me. And if I could pass it for 5, 10 minutes, it literally, the feeling went away. But then I would come back like every couple hours. So for about 2 weeks.
It's kind of funny because if you put off that, and I know a lot of people attest to this, if you can put off not having that first cigarette of the day, you won't smoke much. If you can just keep putting it off, it's once you have that first cigarette, you want another one not too long after, and another one after that, another one after that.
Well, I'm a pretty heavy smoker too. So I think that's what also aggravates.
Like how much?
About a pack a day.
Really?
Yeah, I probably smoke. I would say about, I would say about a pack, easily a pack a day. Yeah.
And that's how much cigarettes are? $14 a pack?
Yeah, if you buy them like, at the gas station, they're like
There's
14.
20 up here.
Yeah,
20.
they don't want you smoking anymore. They're gonna make it so that you no one's going that's just what they're doing, because they just hate this, you know, smoking has turned into like if you smoke cigarettes now, it's just as bad as people are viewing it just as bad as if you were to do like heroin or drink alcohol or any of that. That's what they're classifying it as now. And you like even employers and everything, for if you want to have a cigarette, you have to either go to your car. You can't just like smoke on properties anymore like you used to be able to, they would have, like an ashtray or
Yeah.
whatever.
Do you
Oh
think
no.
do you think it killed the bar business?
Um, so here's the thing. There's a couple bars here, and they got around the not being able to smoke in there by making it a cigar lounge, right? So they use it, but like everybody just smokes whatever in these lounges. They just call it a cigar lounge. So that's how they kind of made um and bars will allow you to smoke like outside, like they don't care. Like it's not like they're like, oh, you gotta like not around the property. Bars don't care. But I mean, like a lot of other places do. Like they don't want it, they don't even want you, they don't want to even see it. Like if you're out in public or whatever, and like let's just say you're going to like a grocery store, Walmart or whatever, like places like that, they don't want it anywhere near the front doors. They don't want any like even close by. They're just being very that it's so horrendous for you. But
Do you think secondhand smoke is bad?
Oh,
okay,
it is.
so here's my take on that, right? I think secondhand smoke is bad if you're literally like on top of somebody puffing it in their face for a long time. I don't feel like if somebody were to walk by and somebody was smoking a cigarette and a little bit got in their nostrils, I don't think it's a major health hazard. Like
No,
if I were in my car and I had the windows rolled up and I was smoking cigarettes and somebody who wasn't smoking cigarettes was in my vehicle. Well, I don't even smoke in my car with the windows rolled up, but I mean, if you did, yes, I could see where the hazard would be, or
Yeah.
I could see if you were like in an enclosed area where people were smoking, I could definitely see where the secondhand smoke would come into play. But I honestly don't think if somebody has a cigarette outside, I don't think unless if they're just literally blowing it right up your nose, it's no different than going outside and what's in the air outside already, as far as posing a danger. Like all the exhaust fumes and everything else. I don't think it's any more of a danger. But they're also trying to get on like third hand smoke. And I'm like, you guys have to be like really like just they're just
There,
really
oh,
pushing,
hold on,
smoke.
hold on. Which third hand smoke?
So third hand so third hand smoke is if I were to have a cigarette, not around you, but you smelt it on my clothes, that's a hazard for the
Oh,
person who smelt it, like
oh,
not while I'm
Hey, Wayne.
smoking.
Yeah. It's
yeah,
got
I
to be
got
a real monkey on your back, though.
No, it's not. You know what the monkey on my back is? Is people trying to tell me to fucking quit smoking. That's the monkey on my
you.
back. People really need to back the people really need to know when to back off. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
no, I'm serious.
That's pretty
That's it's
defensive.
just pushing me to do it more. Like the more I hear it from my doctors, the more I hear like, oh, some miracle's gonna happen if I quit smoking, the more I'm just gonna fucking do it. I really don't um appreciate that form of help. I would say that's not really help, but I don't really I don't take kindly to that type of thing. And for people who actually know about addiction and stuff, they would be like me going to spilling the tea with Sharon V and keep on hounding her to quit doing heroin. Like, oh, well, if you quit doing heroin, this is gonna, no, that's just not how it works. And the
Yeah.
people who know about addiction, you could it's just not, and the funny thing is too is, they're all about, oh, quitting smoking, oh, we know it's an addiction, this and that, but there's no real help. You're on your own. Like, it's not like I can go into a treatment center and I'm gonna get this lap of luxury and learn a whole different lifestyle and do yoga and go swimming in a pool to quit smoking cigarettes. It's like, no, here's a pamphlet and here's some
Yeah.
tips. Like, good luck. It's not like you go to
Yeah.
counseling to quit smoking cigarettes, but everyone makes it to be such a big deal.
Yeah.
And those people who are probably telling you that are drinking, a 6-pack a night to go to sleep, or taking Tylenol PM, or who are on benzodiazepines to get over anxiety issues. So, I mean, I really don't want to hear it.
Or all of the above.
Right. And I'm not judging people who do any of that. And this isn't me judging. This is me defending myself from people who are making me to seem like a monster because I freaking have a cigarette. You know what I mean? Like, there's
Yeah.
something horrendously
Pretty
wrong with me.
defensive. You're really
Yeah.
defensive about it.
Oh no,
I can
am.
tell you.
Because
Yeah.
if I hear one more thing about it, like ever,
I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, I will too. No, we'll do. See how we're on each side of Michelle's shoulders? You be like the good angel, and I'll be the bad angel.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
And I'll tell her, yeah,
It's
yeah.
a wonderful life, only with smoking.
I'm just saying, like, right, like, so I was even told once, oh, if you quit smoking, a miracle will happen. I'm like, oh, let me go pray to my God because for my sin for having a cigarette. Like, get over yourselves. Like, I hate people. Like, back off, or really try to give me like good help. Just don't sit there and tell me to do something. That's not even how you go about, oh, you really care about me. No, you don't. Like, no, you don't. I could tell you, hey, Mark,
Do you think,
don't
Michelle,
drink. And that's
Michelle,
what I'm
do
going
you
to leave
think
it at. You know what I mean?
female? Do you
What's
think
that?
it's harder on female, the stigma of smoking, than it is for a male? You know what
I
I'm
can't.
saying? I'm asking. Like,
I
is
can't.
it tougher on? Okay, go ahead.
I can't say either way because I'm not a male. So, I mean, I don't know what most men go through. I can just
Well,
tell you
I don't get assholes. Nobody tells me to quit smoking.
Really?
Nobody looks at me funny. Nobody gives me a hassle or anything. Yeah?
Really?
I don't get any flack for my smoking. Ever.
Really?
They gave up.
They gave up.
But no, I don't. So I'm wondering if it's a female thing.
But think about it
Because
like
you're a female.
But think about it like this. So I'm not a good enough person, or I can't be a good person because I smoke cigarettes. Like that
Yeah, I know.
whole train of thought is just shitty. Like, completely
Yeah,
shitty.
you're right.
Because it's not like me smoking cigarettes is me not being able to be a productive member of society. It's not. I could see if it was hindering my ability to,
So a little old
logically
lady comes
think.
up to you. A little old lady comes up to you and says, "Really, Gary, you should stop smoking those." You get pissed off and tell her, "Fuck off, you old brat. I want to smoke because I need it. It's my choice, and it's what else?"
No,
That's right.
no, the thing is it's like me telling, a stranger that they need to stop doing certain bad habits. The fact
Yeah,
of
like
the
me.
matter is,
If you told me to quit jacking off,
right. The fact of the matter is,
it ain't happening.
no, that would be
Mad
like
at you.
me
You didn't even
telling
say
you
it.
that would be like me telling you to quit jacking off, right?
Yeah.
And not being there for you, but just me telling you, to quit
Yeah.
jacking off. So what the
Yeah,
fuck would you,
yeah.
like, why
This
would
is
you
a good
care?
example.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that would be like, that's like somebody telling me like, oh, but here, this is what you should do. But okay, because I did. The thing is, Tom, I quit smoking for months. Nothing, no magical, nothing happened. Nothing happened that other than me giving up something that I enjoy
Thank you,
doing.
William.
My life didn't get better. My health didn't get better.
Yeah, it
I
did
still
though. It
had the
did.
same
Remember, you said a
problem.
little while ago you had more energy. Didn't your food taste
No,
better?
I had more. No, 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 no. My food didn't start tasting better.
No,
I
you
had
said you had more
Okay.
energy though, and you
Yeah.
ran 2 miles.
Yeah, because I had too much energy. It wasn't because I freaking was
No,
like,
but
oh
that's
yeah, let
more.
me.
That's more though.
No, but it wasn't like my
That
life was better. It wasn't like my life was better. I
Running
had to
2
go.
miles wasn't better?
No, Tom. I had to go run 2 miles so that I didn't fucking.
Oh, I got it.
so
You
So
know
you
what I
didn't blow
mean?
your stack.
Yeah, it
Oh,
wasn't like
okay.
my
All right. Yeah, I
life
was
was
looking at it
better.
wrong way. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I get it. Yeah,
So they're like,
I get it.
oh, they're like, oh yeah, your life's gonna be so much happier and stuff. No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
It wasn't. I did it,
yeah.
and I did it for a while. I did it. I wasn't like, oh my God, I feel like freaking a brand new person now. No, it's not like people came to me and were like, oh, we want to be friends with you now, and we want to make your life so much more fulfilling now that you don't smoke cigarettes. No, that doesn't happen. So if
Yeah, I
I
got it.
enjoy fucking smoking, then let me fucking have a cigarette.
Okay,
If
though.
somebody
Here's one question though. Why do you try to quit if you enjoy it? Why don't you just go with it?
I tried quitting before because at the time I was really poor, and it was something that like I gave up a lot. Like my whole life is about struggling, giving stuff up because I couldn't afford it. Like,
Yeah.
when does it end? For it doesn't. This is my life cycle. It's just misery and you know being miserable. So let me freaking have a cigarette
Yeah,
so
no, I
that I
got it.
don't
Yeah, yeah, that's your
drive
only
off the
vice.
side of a cliff.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
You
That's a good
know?
I think that's a good rebuttal
Yeah,
to why you smoke.
nothing happened. My stress level didn't go down. My no miracle happened. No
Yeah,
freaking nothing.
yeah.
Like, I didn't make more friends because I stopped smoking cigarettes. My life was just the same, except the only difference was I didn't smoke cigarettes.
But how about this though? How about this? The long-term consequences. If people have your best interest and they like you,
The thing is,
I mean, I don't think
and
people
you
are
know
telling
this,
you to quit smoking because
no, 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 but
they don't want the best for you.
here's my debate. And you know this too because you're a pretty smart guy. So my long term, right? Who the fuck knows what that's gonna be?
Yeah,
Who
yeah,
knows?
yeah. No,
Like,
I like how you step up to the plate on this. No
who,
bullshit.
who knows?
yeah.
Like, do you care? Like, these people claim that they care about me, but like nobody
Yeah,
like
right.
really talks to me. Nobody like is like, hey, let's go out and do something fun instead of smoking. So get
Yeah,
real.
yeah. No,
You just
I
want to
agree with that. I
point a
agree with
finger
that.
at me.
Yeah. Yep.
And say,
Mhm.
"Oh, freaking cigarettes is the worst thing ever." I don't
Yeah,
want to
it
hear
is,
it.
Cynthia. It is, Cindy. Yeah.
I quit smoking before. My life was just the same. Like, nothing happened before. Like, except I didn't have, like, I wasn't smoking, but like
Yeah.
nothing was. I didn't magically
Hey, and
feel
by the way, I
anything.
did quit jacking off for 2 weeks, and I was running 10 miles.
Well, I mean, like, Tom, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
we all have
No, I
something,
get it. No,
right?
you bring up a good argument for this. You really do.
Well, we
I
we
get
do.
it.
We all have something.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
some people, like my uncle, and he's in his 70s now. He likes wine. So he probably finds enjoyment drinking a couple glasses of wine at night and relaxing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like, is there something wrong with that? Of course not, because it's wine, and a lot of people drink wine. But
Right.
now, is it necessarily healthy for you? Yeah, if you drink one.
Yeah. No,
But
you're
how
right.
many people do you know drink one?
Yeah. No, you're right about
Maybe
that.
some
Yeah.
people do. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
there aren't people who do just drink once in a, but
Yeah.
like people who really enjoy it and enjoy the taste and the feel,
No, I think it's the alcohol. It's interesting to me how people try and sell themselves on why they drink wine instead of something else. And it's the grapes and the this and the that. Bullshit.
well, yeah,
12%
because
alcohol.
it's
And a
more
glass of it makes you feel better.
it's because it's more religious. It's more of a religious
It's
symbolism.
cultural. It's cultural. You know, winos drink wine, brain surgeons drink expensive wine, but they're both drinking wine. No, I agree. It's like expensive liquor's the whole thing. You're right. It's true. I think
Yeah,
you drink alcohol
they
for
make
the effect. Go to a bar anywhere, and the only people ordering the damn non-alcoholic beers are the people in recovery. Nobody is ordering those that hasn't had a big problem or isn't on probation. It sucks. You're
no,
not getting any buzz. I'm not saying you're getting rip roaring drunk and getting on the wrong way of an expressway, but you drink it because of the way it makes you feel. It's
they
the same
make it
thing with edibles, all that shit.
they make
It
it seem
enhances things.
they make smoking seem like it's so trashy, like it's the worst thing that you could do is have a cigarette. But when I was growing up, and like I'm not that old, so I was already an adult, and you could still smoke indoors, not
Yeah,
everywhere, but
yeah,
and now it's like now they're just trying to like it's so offensive. Like having a cigarette is just so offensive. Like
yeah.
it's like, you know, I'm like, really? That's really the offensive thing. That's what I'm saying. Like I just can't with people. That's why I worked overnights for 10 years. And honestly, those are some of those are some of my best years, with my with it wasn't you didn't feel like you had to, look a certain way, be a certain way,
Yeah, I get it.
you're away from the public, like
Yeah.
you don't have to
Working
be
midnights.
I loved it. Well, the
Yeah,
only
me
thing that
too.
I
I'm that way too. I'm that way too.
like, it was just, just be yourself,
Yeah.
and if you're a
Yeah.
good person, you're a good person, and whatever. It wasn't like you had to have, like, I don't know, if someone had a cigarette, they freaking had a cigarette, like it
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
like it wasn't a big deal.
Right.
But
Yeah.
then everybody's like makes it seem to be such a big deal now, and now everybody turned to vape it. Now everybody's turning to vape because it doesn't smell. Because now we have to worry about if somebody smells a cigarette. Like, get over yourselves, people. Like, I'd rather smell like someone who had a cigarette than somebody than shit, or there's a lot of worse things that you could smell. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like I just don't like, you know, they need to
I get-
butt out. They really
Yeah.
do. They need to,
Yeah.
if
There's better
someone
things to smoke too than cigarettes,
Like
like
what?
pot. Pot.
Yeah. Why don't you?
Like I haven't had a cigarette in hours. I've been smoking a few joints, and that takes away my cravings.
But I don't think pot would do Michelle any good if it's the nicotine that got to her.
I
I think
don't
pot would make Michelle paranoid.
I
Really?
I've
Yeah,
done
she keeps
in
the
my
knife.
adult life, I've done pot maybe like 5 times, and usually it was because I was drinking first, like it was like, oh, okay, and somebody had it.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not really a big like pot, like because I don't like the feeling of like, and it lasts a long time too. Like you're just kind of like completely, I'm not a big drinker either. That's what I'm saying. Like people are talking about my smoking cigarettes, like it's freaking, I hardly drink, maybe once in a while. I don't smoke pot. I'm, you know, I just don't like being told that, like, making it seem like it's my whole, like
Yeah.
my life's dependent on if I quit smoking or
It's none
not.
of
'Cause
anybody's business, really.
I wouldn't focus so hard on that,
I
Michelle.
wouldn't if other people didn't focus so hard on it.
No, I
For
see
me.
people ask her on her chat.
No, it's not just my chat, like just even in not I get it everywhere. It's not just
Really?
on YouTube
Wow.
either. It's it's it comes up in my life at least a couple times a week.
How
Outside
about
of
your mom?
What's that?
Does your mom say anything?
No, she smokes. Of
Okay.
course she doesn't say anything. She doesn't.
Who's your biggest rag on that smoking?
My employer, doctors, who else do I hear it from? Sometimes I hear it from family, like certain family members.
Have you tried just getting in their ass good once?
I just blow it off, I just don't really, I'm just like, whatever, I mean, like I said, the thing is, um, it's just one of those things. And like right now in my life, I'm not in a good place
Yeah.
to even think about quitting smoking. Like I'm
Yeah.
not
No, yeah.
even
That's true. Yep. I get
I'm
that.
I'm not even in like I'm not like if I were before when I quit smoking, I was in more of a solid not only like emotional mind, but like but everything was pretty solid. Like my relationship, my house, my financial situation, everything was pretty much um you know,
Yeah.
it was stable. Everything
Yeah.
was stable for me
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do that. But right now it's like, you really need to leave me alone.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yep. They'll tell you that too if you go to counseling and stuff. They'll tell you now's not the time, and quitting everything at once isn't a good idea.
Well, you know what? When I was pregnant with my son, I was still smoking.
Really?
And my doctor at the time told me, because I tried to quit smoking, obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
I cut back tremendously.
Yeah.
And I really tried quitting smoking, but I was getting all these horrific pains and I was stressed out. And
Yeah.
my doctor even told me, she goes, I'm not telling you to keep smoking by any means, but she says if it is too stressful, she says stress is worse on the baby, like you being emotionally stressed out is worse on the developing baby than nicotine, than you smoking. So she says, don't stress yourself out over it because you're going to end up with a miscarriage. Because I was
Really?
literally, oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh.
That's what she said.
Huh.
Damn it.
You think that's true, Mark? Everybody's got a vice?
Oh, Tom, that's stupid to say.
I wonder what Mary's is.
I don't know. I'm sure she has something. Everyone has something.
Yeah, but she doesn't smoke. She doesn't drink.
I
There's
think some
something.
What's
people
left? What's
fight
left?
the vices off.
They do what?
Fight the vices off. They don't fall into temptation.
No, I
They're
mean,
beyond that in their own mind. That maybe they don't let into anything like that.
Yeah.
everyone has something. Like everyone has a bad habit of some sort, I mean, we could probably go into like what extremes and everything else, but
Well, we'd have to categorize bad habit. What is a bad habit?
Yeah. Well,
anything.
one thing people hang their hat on, it's kind of interesting too, is that there's receptors for THC in the human body,
Oh yeah.
which is kind of interesting. And if you look like at anaphylactic shock, that's like a part of a human body that isn't good. It's a mistake it makes. So you just wonder if, like, just because you have a receptor for it, should that be construed as natural and okay for you?
Oh, I see.
You know, okay, I'm not sure on that. I don't know.
So in other words, is pot okay to consume in one form or another?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Because
You know, and the problem is like you don't get good studies because the AMA funds a lot of these that are connected to it one way or the other, and they're
Right.
hell against marijuana smoking in general.
Hmm.
And the guys that
Wow.
have went to bat for it have been demoted.
Really?
Yeah, for pain management even. There's a guy named
Wow.
Dr. Daniel Claw,
What are they old?
CLAUW.
Are
And-
they the old guard still, or?
No, yeah, kind of, 60s. But I
Yeah.
went to a pain management lecture one time at the University of Michigan. That guy had tenure, so they couldn't fire him, but they would have if they could have. He's a rheumatologist at the University of Michigan. He says you
Right.
can't deny what he's witnessed as a pain specialist, the effects of THC with chronic pain.
Yeah.
And they tell him to quit talking about it like that.
I'm telling you, I use it for my arthritis. I attest to it.
I think that marijuana probably does have a lot of better medicinal purposes than some of the medications for pain that they can give you. Um, I don't like they have medical marijuana places here where they sell certain strands of certain things for certain problems that you might have. But the thing is you have to get specialized doctors because the federal government still doesn't like marijuana.
Right.
So you have to be monitored that's what it is. You're being monitored by a specialist in how much you get. So I think you're just being like test dummies, basically. That's what it sounds like to me when I spoke with a couple doctors.
That's gonna soon all change, hopefully. It should be like it is up here, free and legal, and you consume it at your own discretion.
I mean, honestly, if we want to talk truths and alcohol and drugs and everything, I feel that marijuana is definitely less harmful overall than alcohol can be when you put it into perspective of abuse.
I
So
agree.
Yeah, but you still shouldn't have smoke if you can avoid it.
if you're if you're abusing, I've
True.
seen people come off of alcohol, right? And I've seen people come off of marijuana. Like I used to smoke marijuana um every day for years when I was a teenager.
Really?
Yeah, when I was a teenager, I smoked marijuana every day, a couple times a day for years. I One day I got sick of it, stopped doing it. No physical, no physical. Like maybe a little like like here and there, but no, I went through no headaches, no nothing from doing it. Now, if that was alcohol and I did that for years and I just quit drinking with no medication, nothing, no support, I probably would have had seizures, freaking cold sweats. I mean, so if you want to talk about poison, you know.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, that's how it is. It doesn't have any
And
addicting effect.
and exactly. And to put another perspective on that, I smoked marijuana as an adult like a couple times and I never fell into like an addiction pattern. I never felt like, "Oh, I need more marijuana now." So obviously the addiction part for marijuana isn't as bad as like let's say somebody who drank every day for, or smoke cigarettes every day. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you guys, I have pretty bad arthritis. I have polyarthritis, so I got it all over the place. Down my legs, especially, is the worst spot. And I smoke because it enables me to do everything that I want to do without
Sorry,
feeling
Tab, we're not supposed to be talking
pain.
about this stuff, right?
No, yeah, go ahead. I don't care. I don't monetize them anyway. Fuck them.
I'll give you words of wisdom. You know,
Crystal clear.
I smoke too, and I'll tell you one thing. I know smoking's bad for you. I know it's not good for you, and I know it's not healthy. But I'll tell you one thing. I don't believe the number one cause of people dying is smoking. The lady, we're at Crossland Storage where we have our stuff. The lady and her husband run the facility. They live on the property. They have the house. And her husband had a heart attack at 59 years old and never smoked in his life. And I asked her how he passed away, and she said from eating out every day and eating greasy foods and hamburgers and hot dogs. Smoking is bad. I'm not saying it's healthy, but I don't think that's the number one cause of people dying. People die every day of heart attacks, other things too.
What do you think of that, Mark?
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's people that are 80, 90 years old that smoked all their damn life. And then you look at people that are dying in their 50s that never smoked, of heart attacks, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't believe that smoking is the number one cause of death. I'm not saying that it's bad. It is unhealthy for you. I agree. I mean, I'm a
Oh,
smoker.
I don't know, Chris. It's a killer, man.
There's a lot of things that are unhealthy for you. Like, how about
I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of things that we eat, the stuff that they put in the stuff today that we eat, a lot of preservatives, a lot of things. And I think the number one cause of death is high cholesterol. That's the number one cause of death. And I've known people, I have friends that died from high cholesterol. 54, so.
Chris, have you tried to quit smoking?
Yeah, I quit before. I could quit now if I want. I just choose not to. I don't know why.
I know why.
because you like doing it?
Right.
I enjoy it. I guess something to do. I guess. I mean, that's a stupid reason, though. But
How much do you smoke a day, Chris?
a pack will last you about 3 days.
Okay.
I just don't believe that smoking is the number one killer. I don't.
Did anybody ever say it was?
Well,
Yeah, no, I don't remember anyone saying that.
they say secondhand smoking is worse than firsthand smoking.
Yeah, I've read that.
And that is true. And I don't,
So you're killing Debbie.
How is that even? I don't understand. How is
You're
second
killing Debbie.
she smokes too.
Oh, she does.
Yes, secondhand smoking is worse.
How
than
is
firsthand.
no, please tell me, because if
Because
I'm having
if you live with someone who's a smoker and you're not, you're breathing in all of that. You're still breathing that in.
right. Okay, I
Because the
understand
first
that.
hand smoker has a
I-
filter.
I understand that, but like, if I'm the first-hand smoker, I'm puffing it, literally sucking it into
Right.
my lungs before I puff it out. It's
But
literally
through a filter.
whatever I'm puffing
Through a
out
filter.
from
Right.
my
The
mouth.
other person that's breathing that in, though, that you're around, they're still breathing.
I don't know about that, because the same filtered smoke that I am puffing into my lungs in my body, and then I'm blowing the filtered smoke that I put in my
Yeah, it's
body
true. It's
out
true.
into the air.
Yeah.
But that's worse than when it was in my body.
She's got a point.
I've known people that died of secondhand smoking, so
Who? Christopher Reeve's wife.
So,
Yeah.
oh, what's that? I don't know. Did she?
That's what they said from singing in lounges. The one thing I can't figure out about this secondhand smoke shit, if that's true, then all stewardesses should be dead if they're in their 60s now.
That's true. Good point.
I mean, I can remember going on a kid in airplanes out to Connecticut. It's like, fuck, you couldn't see 2 seats ahead of you.
Right. Well, that's the thing.
Smoking in a fucking tube.
No,
I know.
when
Crazy.
when I was younger,
Who farted in the sub?
Yeah.
when I was younger, I remember going out to restaurants and sitting in the smoking section, and I couldn't even handle it, and I was a smoker. Like I would sit in the non-smoking section because I hated it that much, and I smoked cigarettes.
Yeah, no, there you go. Yeah, that's how it was in those airplanes. And this was like as a kid. Maybe that's the only reason I made it. But I mean, this was heavy duty smoke. And casinos before they banned smoking, most of them.
They still have them.
Yeah, they do. Some of them have.
areas.
Yeah.
Harley Davidson's 120th anniversary was this weekend in Milwaukee. They had people drive from all over the world there.
Oh,
Even
cool.
from Georgia. They even had people from Georgia go to Milwaukee for the.
You couldn't give me a Harley Davidson. I think they're a piece of junk. Oil burning. They're slow.
Yeah,
overpriced.
Yeah, way overpriced. I agree with you.
Yeah, what a piece of junk.
I agree with you on that.
That's another sham by American.
Yeah, I agree.
You can get a rice rocket for about 2/3 cheaper. Run circles around that fucking thing.
You could buy a BMW.
Yeah,
it's just as nice and pay less money for it.
Yeah, I give them A+ for marketing on that thing.
Yeah.
All these companies that like are charging 2 and 3 times more than anybody else for the same thing. You got to give them Starbucks for fucking coffee. You got to give them A+ for marketing.
Do you hear about the Hollywood writers are going on strike because of artificial intelligence now?
No, is that what the strike's? SAG.
Because they're not going to have the writers anymore.
Yeah, I wonder what that was about. That's what it is, huh?
Artificial intelligence. That's part of it. Yeah. So there's a big strike in Hollywood about writers now.
They use less writers to do a movie.
Hey, Tom.
Less writers to do a movie, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
You see Michelle, she puts her avatar up every once in a while.
Yeah.
She's having a butt. Right, Michelle?
Yeah, I had a cigarette.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's good. See? One smoker busts another.
Well, I don't want to offend people because
we don't give a fuck. Hey, you don't need to worry about that here.
I understand how offensive.
No, put it on there. Turn the fucking camera on. Show us. You
don't go outside and smoke. You smoke in your house?
No, I smoke in my garage.
Oh, but so your camera doesn't work out there?
Yeah, it works out there.
Turn the motherfucker on then. This is no holes barred chats, man. We're not pretending any. I wondered why you did that. I thought it was the signal.
No. Well,
I don't give a fuck. You, Mark? Mark doesn't
No, not at all.
We want to see the real
you. You want to see the real me sitting in my
I want to see the real you.
Well, it's kind of dark.
Rita does it too.
Well, it's kind of dark in my garage, though.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't understand how when you're on a chat and like is this stressful for you?
Well, I mean, like I like to, how you're drinking a beer because you're just relaxed. It's not stressful and just
It enhances it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, makes sense. Oh, we're not going to say anything.
So are you all done in Michigan now yet, or are you still working?
No, I got to go up there and clean out that fucking condo and close on it.
Oh man,
I'm dreading it. Hey, Annette, how you doing? No, I don't care.
What do you?
We'd rather you be the real you.
What do you smoke, Michelle? What brand?
Newports.
How much are they there?
14.
A pack?
Mm-hmm.
There's 7 here.
Hmm.
What's the difference between like the different kinds of cigarettes? Like, what do you smoke, Chris?
Marlboro Special Blend Select.
So why would you pick those, and why would you pick yours, Michelle? What's different?
So I've smoked.
Menthol is strong. That's why people like.
I've smoked Marlboros before, and the differences is with Newports or with Marlboros are like non-menthol.
Yeah.
I like menthol because it has that like minty flavor. Like it's not like pure, just like like tar tobacco kind of flavor. Like in your mouth.
I can't believe you pay $14 a pack there.
That's New York taxes.
Oh, there'd be no way I would ever pay that. There'd be no way. No way.
Yeah, you would. You would too.
Tom, so put this into perspective, right?
Yeah.
I work, right?
Yeah.
And put this, and so I spend $14 a day in cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the girls that are on the streets, and how much are they spending on their habits?
Yeah, you're right.
Usually, what, like you'd say $100 a day, probably?
You mean heroin?
Yeah, with
it's funny you should bring that up because I was looking at some of these interviews that I re-uploaded. It went from 150 to 400. That's what they said.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I wonder
remember
sometimes? Well, here's what I wonder sometimes. And I have no way of, knowing if this is true or not. But it's like if you were going to go on and you were a prostitute and you were looking at a camera and a guy like me was interviewing you, would you rather tell the audience that you're sucking dicks for $10 or $250?
$250?
Yeah. And I just kind of wonder if they're, trying to make it look like something that it's not. Because I can tell you this, as time went on and I got to know more of those women and, ran into Johns that I happened to see in a restaurant, and after I saw them dropping them off and shit like that, these girls were blowing guys all day long for $10. And there just wasn't enough time in a day to run up a $400 dope bill, even if you suck dicks without ever going to bed. And I just, everybody's, you want to appear a certain way. And like she said, if you had to tell a camera guy what you were charging, would you want to say, I'd be the same way, $250. You don't want to appear that low.
Tom, the thing is too is, and I'm not trying to put like a major judgment, but like
that's really observant.
People who have addictions and stuff also lie a lot because
you're right.
all they care about is their addiction.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not saying
Michelle, have you ever heard of Kensington, Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Heck, I've heard of that.
It's the open drug market where it's homeless and the biggest opioid crisis in the country.
But
they're saying that these people they have trank. It's called trank now. It's called Xylan, and what's happening is this drug is eating away their flesh. This drug is so bad now down there.
But I always say I'm joking when I say it, but I don't have a problem with that really because it's their moneymaker and they're a drug addict. But really, it's true. The women that criticize them are the women that come on chats and talk about you, enable them, whatever. It's just like you smoking. There's a million reasons people don't like me. I mean, the women criticizing and the women on the chat been sucking them for free their whole life.
Well, the thing is I don't criticize them. I always wish them the best.
Me too.
Like I hope that they could turn their lives around so that they're not out there,
But all these stories you hear about these people have these addictions say, oh, I lost a parent, I lost my mother, I've lost my father. I've had a bad childhood. I've had this. I've had things wrong with me. You know what? That's life, So I'm gonna be a drug addict now because I lost my parents and my life isn't going well. So now I'm gonna be now. You know what I mean? You always hear
they have to say something.
It's a very sad life because
it is.
Well, what it is.
I just don't buy it because I had a rotten childhood. You know what? So I lost both of my parents. I'm not a heroin addict. And a lot of these people that you talk to and you see on YouTube, it's always something about, oh, I had a rough life and this and that. You know what? That's life, Nobody's had a perfect life.
The thing is,
you want to be an addict, though.
The thing is once you have an addiction, that's all you think about, right? So they're what their mind's going through all the time is getting money for their addiction. That's all that they care about. That's all that they care about is whatever drug that they are addicted to. They don't care about you. They don't care about anyone else.
Right,
they don't even care about themselves.
But how about this, Michelle? I mean, it's not like every blowjob you ever gave led to marriage.
Yeah.
Was there any big deal in you sucking one for nothing and someone else charging $10?
So I don't I don't think like I think so. This is how I feel about the whole situation.
Yeah, I want to know this. I don't
Okay.
see the big difference.
So the thing is, right, is when I think about, I feel bad for them, and I think that their addiction's wrong, because that's all that they think about.
Mhm.
So that in my eyes is they need to change with that. But as far as them prostituting themselves, like I look at it like this. I had this conversation with somebody the other day. I'm like,
Yeah, I want to know
well,
this. I want to know this.
how many women probably married a man, right,
Mhm.
who had money and
Yeah, yeah, right. I agree.
what's the difference really, like as far as that goes? But as far as like the addiction part, the reason why they're doing it,
Yeah.
now that's a little sad because they're not doing it because it makes them happy or because they're
No,
doing it
yeah,
to do a drug
yeah.
to survive.
But
So
arguably, doesn't in what I just said in the whole scheme of things,
as far as
doesn't giving a blowjob for $10 makes the most sense of it all.
well, yeah, no, well, that's what I like. Like, I have no problems with women who, have to do what they have to do for money, but it's at the same time I feel bad for them because what they're doing with the money, all they're doing is they're just trying to, like get drugs to survive. Like that's their whole mindset. Like, like how you have feelings for people, like I'm sure you have friends, you
Mhm.
care about them, like you'll be
Mhm.
there for them, whatever. That's not how they think. They don't give a flying F about anybody. Like they
Right,
don't
but I lost.
have,
But I lost I lost both of my parents. Debbie lost her parents, but we're not heroin addicts. How does that? And every I
right.
see
Well, I mean,
thousands of interviews on YouTube, whether it's
Are
Tom's
you sucking dicks
interview.
for $10?
No,
Oh,
but
who's
I'm just saying. I mean, every one of
How
these
about for
interviews,
nothing?
it's always about.
well, a lot. I mean,
You know.
this even goes as far as the Bible too. I know Tom likes
Oh,
that.
God damn.
That's
Here
the
we
part.
go. Now we're
So
going to start lying.
So honestly, when back in the day in the Bible era, like a man would give a father of a daughter money to have the daughter. So I mean, the exchange for that, it wasn't necessarily just sex or whatever, but like I'm sure that was part of it. But I mean, like it's been going on exchange for whatever it may be, a woman in general, that was always there, even in the Bible, like times, and that was accepted, so I mean, I don't really judge them for that, but like I know all they're thinking about, that's all that they're thinking about is just getting their next fix. They're not thinking about, oh, the person down the street, oh, maybe I should do something good with my time when I'm here.
But I don't have, it's their moneymaker. It makes sense to me.
No,
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
such,
that
such
I
a
don't,
horrible existence,
it's not the first thing that you
So
want
fucking sad.
your daughter to be, or, you want someone to be as like a prostitute, but it's like, it's there,
Yeah, yeah, right.
and I'm not judging somebody for trying to make a living.
But I want to know, like, why is this horrible? I mean, if someone was out digging ditches for 8 hours a day, you'd say it was hard work, but I doubt you'd say it's horrible. What's
Well,
this
no,
big deal? Because there's not love and it's
well,
immoral, or why is it horrible sucking
okay,
dicks for money?
so this is why some people think it's horrific,
Yeah, I want to
right?
know why.
Is because your body is sacred, right?
Well,
And you no, this is how you're supposed to feel. Like
you're
your
supposed
body
to
is
feel that way as a Christian. The
your
body is
body is
God's temple.
yeah, like it's sacred. So
Yeah,
like to give up your body for
yeah, it was.
basically
Yeah, thank you, Rita. Bingo. Rita
like
says her body was, not anymore.
Have a good night, Tom.
Good night, Chris.
We'll talk again.
All right, thank you.
Bye, Chris.
so
Call me later, Mark. Okay.
Okay, bud.
so giving up your
Will
body
do.
just for that, like just for and they have all these different, whatever, I mean, there are better things that you can contribute more to society. Like, even if you're digging a ditch, right? You're doing it for somebody else. It's to better the community in some sort of way.
Oh, Christ. You're
You,
stretching the shit out of this.
well, I'm just saying.
Would you rather suck a dick or dig ditches for 8 hours if you were single?
I don't know. That's a hard one.
It
Oh,
would be, then you need to dig ditches for a day.
yeah.
Well, I don't want to dig ditches, okay?
No,
Like,
I just don't like. I just can't. I mean, I get what you mean. I know if I had a daughter, I wouldn't want her doing it. All that bullshit everybody says, but it's
You
like
know-
what people say, and what is it based on?
You
So
know what
it's
the
based on-
horrible part of it
it's-
is?
What?
It's this. Hold on. Let me say
No,
something.
let me have it.
It's the reason that they're doing it for $10. It's because they're feeding their arm, and that's the filthy part.
they're living in sin and
The
suffering.
filthy part of the equation.
They're basically suffering. Like, it's not like they're doing it to be happy.
All right, so how about the married
If-
guy that's banging the secretary at noon? What's your take on that?
Okay, so
They enjoy it, so it's
okay.
different.
Okay, this is okay. So
A
the
moral
guy,
dilemma.
no, let me talk.
Okay, sorry.
So if a guy was banging a secretary, right,
Mhm.
and he wasn't like high or like on something, or
Yeah.
just to do it just to get money so
Yeah.
that they could get drugs.
Yeah.
The thing is there could be a whole different circumstance with that. Like, maybe his wife isn't doing her duties as a wife, and he's looking for love and affection from somebody else. You know what I mean? So I don't know. You got to take that case by case. But
Yeah,
like
I
the
agree. Yeah,
prostitutes,
case by case.
right? But the prostitutes that you're interviewing, most of them have, it's the same story. Like, I do this because I have a drug problem so that I could get high, which is just basically, you're just like living in this cycle of just, you know, doing immoral things, right, for money, right, so that you
But
can get.
is it any different than slaving away at a fucking Taco Bell for 50 hours a week for minimum wage and paying your double wide leaky roof payment?
I mean, the thing is,
I'm talking about the real world here.
no,
And
I'm
minus marriage or a serious relationship or love or some corny shit like this.
So the reason, part of the reason why to get out of, I guarantee you, if those girls were sober, they wouldn't be doing that. I guarantee you that if those girls did not have a drug problem, they wouldn't be on the streets going up to guys' cars for $10 just to get their drugs. So I mean, it's really like, if you can find me a prostitute who just does it because that's what she feels like her purpose in life was, I would look at it differently.
Yeah, I
But
got it. Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, if you found like a legit person, and I guarantee you that person who's doing it because they felt like that was their purpose in life,
Mhm.
isn't living on the streets. They probably have a nice house. They probably have a couple cars. They're probably charging a lot more than $10 for, it's probably a totally different thing. But these poor girls that you're interviewing, they have a drug problem. And that's why they're doing it. They're doing it for just strictly for their drug problem. They're not doing it to better themselves in any way. They're just doing it to survive bare minimum. Like, so they're living in sin because they have to get this drug, to feel happy and to like be content with themselves. But I guarantee you, if they got clean, you probably wouldn't see them out there still doing it. You probably wouldn't see them, on the street corner, like, I guarantee you. So that's
True.
that. But I mean, like, I don't hate them, it's not like I'm this ravaged, like, oh my, I'm not gonna go out
Yeah,
there,
right. Yeah, yeah.
but there it is. I can't.
Okay. Now, does that can you smoke right before you go to bed, or does it stimulate you too much?
I can usually smoke before I go to bed. It doesn't really it calms me down, so it doesn't really have that effect on me. Like I can't drink, I hardly drink a lot of coffee. I don't really need a lot of coffee because I naturally have a lot of energy, so um that's why I smoke cigarettes is because I'm a pretty wired person, just naturally anxious, wired, nervous person.
Mm-hmm.
So, but for me, because I know how I am with smoking cigarettes, I never went into any hard drugs as a teenager. I could have very easily, I
Mm-hmm.
never did any kind of, you know, never wanted to, never did it. I did pot, that was the worst. That was probably the worst thing that I did for a long time, but I quit that before I was an adult. I was just like, I'm okay. And I just started working. I got a full-time job and that ate up a lot of my time, where before I was just getting high and not doing much, staring at walls and
But if you take these women that just meet guy after guy and it doesn't work out and they've been married 5 times and they're 50 years old and they're living alone,
sure.
I don't see that far away from the prostitute
Well, the
giving
thing is,
blowjobs
right?
for 10
So,
bucks.
so here's the difference, right? I mean, I definitely get your point, and like I said, I've even defended that to other people who've
Yeah, yeah,
criticized.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, how many women here back in the day were living at home with their parents and found a guy who could support them with a stable life, chose a guy with more
Hmm.
money because they wanted more things and whatever. But the difference is your lifestyle and your intent for the future. I mean, the thing is with the prostitutes, these guys, they pay you to leave because that's all they want to do is they just want to,
Yeah,
have sex with you. And like I said, if
that's
you
true. Pay to leave. That's no shit.
if you really feel like that is your purpose in life without drugs. So I'm saying if you're clean, sound mind, if that is something that makes you happy doing, then do it. But by any means, if you feel like it's a purpose, that's my purpose in life is to make guys happy and in that way, then maybe that is your purpose, but you can't tell me that that's your purpose when you're freaking shoot, higher than whatever. You don't It's not like these women care any they don't care about these men. They don't give a shit. So it's kind of I don't know,
Yeah.
pointless. Pointless to a certain degree, you
There's a
know?
lady that they're talking in the chat about this, that wrote a book on being on Adderall. Jewish girl. I got the book. I didn't really like it that much. I can't remember her name. She wrote a book about how she got her life back after getting off Adderall.
See,
Right.
my friend was on that, and I actually
Yeah.
tried it a couple times when I was younger,
Yeah.
and um, it took her she went through a lot. See, that's what I'm saying. People get upset over pot, but she went through years of weird, she had a twitch after she stopped using it.
Really?
She was a mess for a while because she did it every day. I only took it a couple times to see if it would help me
Yeah.
out.
How did it affect you?
So when I took it, it made me more calm and I was able to focus better.
Yeah.
It slows everything down. So if you're naturally a wired if you
Yeah. I'm
if
kind
you're
of
one
like that.
if you're one of those people who think five different things at once sometimes, or you're
Yeah.
oh, and then you're over here it kind of like brings you down a little bit, so where you can be like, oh, I have to get this done first instead of five different things pinging off in your head at once. So like, I don't know if you're this type of person, but do you
Yeah, I'm
start
kind of like
something
that.
and do you start something and sometimes you don't finish it because you
Fuck
start something
yeah.
else? And yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's what Adderall helps with. Adderall helps with where it slows you down a little bit to where you can focus better on like one thing.
Huh.
Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't know. I finished the book and I thought, I don't know, I just, it wasn't something I finished and believed 100%. It seemed like me I mean, I would be concerned if Adderall could get on the market and it did to everybody what she claims it did to her.
Well, I tell you, some of these pharmaceutical drugs, Tom. I mean, like I love it. I hate hearing how horrendous pot is, but some of these pharmaceutical drugs, I've seen hor- bad things happen to some
Yeah,
people who were on it for a while. It's like, oh,
yeah,
here, try this. It's legal. So that we can
yeah.
basically, so we can monitor you, because that's what when you get
But
medications for
what's the motive to monitor somebody?
a study, like to see if, you know, to see if it
But if you
works.
look at studies before, let's say it's over $1 billion to get a medicine approved for the market now. It isn't like they're drawing straws. It's expensive.
I mean, you figure some of these doctors, right? So if they prescribe, they get kickbacks for like prescribing
No, they don't.
medication.
No, they don't. And let me tell you this: in the mid '90s, the federal government approached doctors, Michelle,
Yeah.
and because of jury awards through insurance policies
Uh-huh.
for pain and suffering, the insurance companies finally went to the federal government saying, "Look, here's the injuries. Yeah, we can deal with that, but we're getting our fucking ass handed to us with these jury awards for pain and suffering. You need to do something about treating pain." So the federal government went to physicians. This is a fact. It's published. And told them, you are doing a shitty job of handling pain. Get with it. And that's how opioids started. It
Well,
started because of the goddamn government criticizing them for not handling pain properly.
the funny thing is, Tom, is I could literally have that same case scenario for myself because for whatever reason, I've seen people get pain medications like nothing. But I have never, the only time I have ever in my life gotten medication for pain, um, for I would say for an opiate, right?
Yeah.
So the only time I ever uh was through a dentist when I got my wisdom teeth pulled out. Other than that, I mean, I've had surgeries. I've had everything else. Not once when I say I'm in pain, like I, I'm in a lot of pain. The only thing they told me is, "Oh, Tylenol and ibuprofen."
Yeah.
But here, my friends, right? They go to the doctors. "Oh yeah, I got a pain. Oh, here's some Oxycontin or
I don't
here's
think it's
some."
like that now.
Yeah,
No,
but
they're real tough on what they hand out.
it's it's always been like that for me for some reason. I have no idea why because
I bet if I offered you $1,000, you couldn't get a new prescription for OxyContin tomorrow, no matter what you told them.
don't offer me that because I couldn't even I could never get it anyways. I'm like,
But I mean,
wait
if
a
it's
minute.
easy to get and people are handing them out, why couldn't you find a source?
The thing
Those
is,
days are over.
the
Yeah, they
thing
are.
the the thing is and
They're
I
all
don't
in
know
prison.
I don't
Right.
know if it's just me or what, but like I said, I've always felt like I've always been shafted. Like my friends could always get it right, and like me, it's like freaking.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever gotten paid, like I said, when I had my wisdom teeth pulled out when I was, like I don't know, like 18 or 19. You know,
Yeah.
they gave me a couple pills of Vicodin, and that was years ago.
Well, a couple is one thing.
Well, the funny thing is like like I said, I've had, surgeries and everything else.
I used to get it for
I get
everything.
nothing. I
All
never
my
got any.
procedures, all
And
my
then,
surgeries, accidents. Here, take these.
oh
Here, take
really?
these.
Oh really? Yeah, that's like
Oh
my
yeah.
friend. Well, my friends could get it even without like a extreme legit. Like they would be like, oh, here's some freaking whatever you need, basically. Here you go. Here I am. I could probably go in there with a missing limb and they'd be like, oh, just freaking here's some Tylenol and ibuprofen.
Codeine.
Yeah, I can't get codeine. I can't get anything. Never could.
Yeah, you're right,
So
Reed.
I don't know. But it is what it is. I mean, whatever the
Yeah.
case may be, but that I've never felt like doctors have really, helped with my any kind
Pain.
of pain. Yeah, like if I say pain, they're like, walk it off, basically. Suck it up. I'm like, all right, here I am, freaking.
Ibuprofen.
Thanks.
That's my miracle drug.
You're lucky
Why?
because it's available.
Ibuprofen. Yeah, you're right. Well, I get another one. I get naproxen too if I ask for it.
Yeah, that's nothing
I
either. You can buy that at the
That's
grocery store.
Tylenol, isn't it? Or
Yeah.
You can get that at the grocery store. Hey, man, here's
Advil?
a guy on here, this shock talker, and he's been on before, and he says he's been on these opioids for like 8 years. I forgot why. He had a back problem or something like that, and he gets fentanyl prescriptions and OxyContin prescriptions, and I'm
What?
just wondering how many hoops he has to jump through, even for a legitimate reason. Like, is it pill counts and
Well, even Bobbles, she's a good one to talk to about that. She's talked about her issues and whatnot, and they they do have to monitor you to a certain degree, obviously, because
yeah. I don't know of a doctor that wants to have patients writing that stuff out. These pain clinics are under the microscope everywhere. And it's
yeah,
weird how Medicaid pays and how insurance companies pay, the things they pay for and the things they don't. It's crazy. I know they get even like the lowest payer, like Medicaid, when they bust these pain clinics, they're even Medicaid's even reimbursing high dollar amounts for like epidurals. It's just crazy. Like you're getting like $1,800 a shot for 3 treatments within 6 months, and they're making up patients and all this bullshit. There's a couple of them in Michigan that got busted, and that's what they were doing the most of.
well, I
Well,
mean, they constantly do that. Doctors, offices and hospitals, like if I were to go in there and I were to say I don't have health insurance, which they obviously don't like, that's why there's Obamacare and everything else, but um, they'll charge me less than if I had insurance. They would
Yeah,
charge the
yeah.
insurance company
Somebody
more.
else told me this the other day about that. Marty
Yeah,
got some heart procedure he was worried about, and he paid 10 grand more because he had insurance than if he didn't.
right, right. So they like because I don't know. It's a game, it's all a financial game that they're playing. Unfortunately, it's with healthcare and, you know,
Yeah,
it's a business, It
right.
basically boils down to a business. So, but I don't know.
Yeah,
yeah, but those days are over.
I
There was
think so too.
problems on the reserves too up here with a lot of dealing of OxyContin back when it was hot.
Huh.
They called it hillbilly heroin.
Yeah. Yep. Huh. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's tough. I know doctors. I mean, there are stories out there of people that had pain, got cut off by their doctors, and got busted buying heroin.
Yeah, they just couldn't deal with it.
Yep, couldn't deal with it. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of an old story. You have an accident, they give you a bunch of painkillers, they try and fix you, patch you up the best they can, and send you back on your way, take you off the painkillers, and if you were on them for a long time, you got dependent on them.
Yep. True. Definitely addictive. Where they busted them, just like they did the cigarette companies, is they got a hold of paperwork where they knew how addictive it was, and then they caught them lying. That's what that's what nailed the cigarette companies on fortifying and enhancing the potency of nicotine. Same thing with
Really?
Oxycontin and shit. Yeah, they found studies where they knew it was addictive and failed to warn people about it. That's where you get the
Wow.
big bucks. Yep. I mean, look at these municipalities now suing big pharma for prescribing it. Counties and stuff are suing. States, everybody else.
I have a
Even
buddy.
Walgreens just settled some lawsuit with a couple of states for dispensing opioids
Yeah, I
for
heard about
legal,
that.
legit prescriptions.
Yeah, like I think that's just I, see, I think
While you're
yeah,
doing that, Michelle, I'm going to just interject really quick. I'm going to duck down now. So thanks, Tom.
Yeah, have a good night, man. I'm going to be signing off here pretty soon, too. Thanks for coming on.
Okay, we'll
I'll
take
put a
care.
better promo out.
Yeah, I will. I'll do mine tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. See you,
All right. Thanks
Michelle.
for coming
bye,
on. Yeah, thank
Mark.
you. What were you saying now, Michelle?
So I think it's a tricky game, right? So these controlled substances that they're prescribing and doctors, I think you almost got like a target on you. And then with this whole drug,
Yeah, I mean, you
thing
got
going.
legitimate doctors, no infractions, never been sanctioned, and they want to get rid of people that they've been giving this stuff to under, controlled doses for years that aren't abusing it. They want to get rid of them because they are on your ass, man. All this shit's computerized. Blue Cross, Blue Shield, Medicaid, Medicare, all of them. They'll even, if you're what triggers most of these people, like if you're a doctor in a state and you're you're the top 10 guys that prescribe oxycodone or oxycontin, you're going to get an automatic audit just because you're prescribing. They have all the stats. You're prescribing way more of this than anybody else is anywhere. Why? I mean, Michigan, they shut down some huge pain clinics. They nailed doctors in different states. It was all because of this kind of stuff. It got to the point where a lot of them were like recruiting homeless people. I mean, if you're doing $10 blowjobs, it's not too much for someone to come down there and say, hey, would you be willing on Medicaid to come to this pain clinic and sign up? They weren't even giving them the epidurals. They were just charging Medicaid for it. So you got, you're in Kensington, say, as an example. You've
Yeah.
got 200 prostitutes coming, getting cash under the table. They're not even getting the shots, but they're billing them as if they did to Medicaid. That's what a lot of these big scandals were, and some of these big pain clinics falling apart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Recruiting homeless people. And some of them, they were just recruiting using their ID.
Oh, okay.
Not even giving it makes sense. I mean, if you're gonna do it, and all of a sudden you're sitting home and you're making more money than you were making walking the streets. I mean, you're not going to tell anybody. This is great.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And then somehow it comes unglued. They get pinched and they end up talking, and you get the federal government involved, and the whole thing falls apart. It was a huge deal. And actually, I know a doctor that owned a sleep clinic, and this guy worked for him for a long time, a neurologist. He got 12 years.
Really?
Yeah, and he said he was
Uh,
seemed to him to be an honest guy, but in the practice he worked at, the sleep clinic, there was no opportunity to go south. But when he moved down around Detroit and took a job at a pain clinic, he was one of the guys. He got 12 years. His life's essentially over.
yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 I
Yeah.
mean, even if, you know, even if the key, even if, like, let's say he didn't have to do jail time, right? Like, his license would get revoked, and
No, that's the thing.
that's probably his livelihood, right?
Yeah,
Is
that's the thing.
practicing. What do you
It's
do?
the same thing. There was I remember I was doing a lot. I had a PI, even though I was based out of Chicago, I was doing a lot of PI work in Indiana, and I had a PI license. And I'd go through all those like Amish communities. They were kind of cool, and they were just nice towns. And when I'd go there and I'd eat lunch, I'd read the newspaper. And there was an ophthalmologist down there that did a lot of cataract surgery. And they now they claimed that he was turning in false billings. Him and his wife were big ballroom dancers. You know, they go travel all over the country and do this ballroom dancing.
Hmm.
And he got charged with, falsifying billing or something like that, which he swears that he never did. Anyway, long story short, once he got charged, he lost his hospital privileges. And you're essentially done as a doctor, even though they haven't revoked your license. And him and his wife both wrote long suicide letters, went into their office one night and he shot her between the eyes and then killed himself. And the letters were printed in the local paper about how he explained that there was no due process, that he didn't do this. It was a bunch of bullshit. And he knew that it'd be 2 or 3 years before he was ever exonerated. And not only was it questionable whether he could afford it, he had no source of income between now and then. And they were losing everything that they'd acquired. So they felt they'd be better off dead.
Well, honestly, I believe him that he was probably targeted, but he wasn't the one that was actually doing the work. I believe that 100% because doctors don't do anything with billing. Doctors, unless if you have a
But
private
their office manager does.
but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't him, but I don't know if he owned a private practice or
Yeah,
if
private practice.
it was. Okay,
Yeah.
see that's where
But they
stuff can.
nailed it. The same thing happened where I was living up in West Branch. This lady started out as a janitor, got a 2-year degree got a 1-year LPN, and she got a 2-year degree as a RN. Then she went and got a 4-year degree and was an RN, got a master's in nursing, ended up getting into a medical school, did her residency, everything, and came back as a plastic surgeon. Doris Nelson was her name, West Branch, Michigan. And what she was busted for was billing for procedures outside of her expertise, like actinic keratosis is one. And they said that's what dermatologists would do. But she, when you're in the business, you know how to code it. So
Yeah.
basically, at least what the government charged her with was charging for one thing and billing for another. Basically, people were getting face peels under the guise of a dermatological procedure from skin cancer, squamous cell and basal cell. Long story short, same shit. Once she got charged, she was fucked. Started drinking, ended up becoming an alcoholic. And right before she went to trial, she killed herself because she was broke.
Aw,
Yeah. But came up from a janitor to being a plastic surgeon.
that's
And,
cute.
I don't know the truth. I mean, it's a big standard to convict people of this stuff. It's not because they're not liked or they stole $25. So on one hand, I tend to believe they had her. And on the other hand, it was her family members that were doing all the billing that were benefiting from her practice. So you'll just never know,
The thing is I think it happens more frequently than what is being said, and I think once a target is put on you for whatever reason,
Yeah.
um, you're basically screwed. So, like, as soon as
You get charged.
yeah, like, so if you so basically it's all a game, right? So she pissed she pissed off somebody for whatever reason, and they started investigating
Yeah.
because it happens all the time everywhere.
Yeah.
So, you know, this stuff just started
Well,
piling
that's
up.
interesting because that's the truth, you know. It's who they decide to prosecute and who they
Right.
don't. They say that about federal wiretaps. For the people they don't like and they want to prosecute, they turn the microphones on. When somebody comes in the office that you like that's part of your party, you turn it off.
Right.
Yeah, I believe that. Yep.
So
Crazy.
it really is. So you have to learn to, you know, kind of play the game and, cover
But you know, there's
yourself.
there's plenty of practices out there that don't do this, that don't get charged. So you really don't know what to believe.
Oh, I'm sure. Like, I'm sure not every like because I don't know. So, but um it happens probably more frequently than you hear about,
Yeah.
because they got
There's a
caught.
political implication to it,
Yeah, exactly.
you know?
Yep. The government's a crazy thing because
Yeah.
there's so many layers to the government. There's so many different
Yeah,
avenues and
they just sent a famous heart surgeon from Saginaw, Bay City area, about 60 miles north of where I was living.
Mhm.
And this guy like walked on water. I mean, everybody sent him all sorts of referrals, super busy. Came from Croatia or someplace like that. He just got 40 years. And he's 52 years old and $190 million in restitution. His life
for
is over
for what?
for false billing.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. Completely fraudulent, made up patients. If you Google it, like Saginaw heart surgeon sentenced,
Do you think there's more to that?
probably.
I mean, he was fake billing with fake people. Do you think maybe he was actually doing these procedures just on different people?
No, I think it was all fake billing.
Because, I mean, just like you said, like a lot of places would take in homeless people and use their identities
Yeah. No,
to.
I think you know when you're dealing with Medicaid, Medicare, once you get a social security number and a date of birth, I mean, who knows where they were getting those? It's off to the races. And you know the government, they're so fucking far behind on everything.
Oh, yeah. It takes a while.
Yeah. Yep. It's crazy. But you just to see a life like that go down the tubes, and he had a great life without doing that. It makes you wonder.
I mean,
I saw it on TV tonight on 2020. You can look it up. It's on YouTube. Dr. Conrath, Konrath. He was an orthopedic surgeon in Indiana that got involved with a couple floozies. And he was a writer too, just a really gifted guy. This guy did all sorts of shit. Had published books, was an orthopedic surgeon, climbed. He's one of like 10 guys that climbed all the mountains in the world, the highest peaks, that kind of shit. And he just seemed to have a penchant for getting involved with some of these bimbos. And I think he got involved with, kind of a con artist. And, she set him up and they taped calls. On the show, it's going to look like he probably went to prison for 10 years for plotting to kill his wife, but it's not. It didn't. He wouldn't have went to prison at all for that. What they nailed him for is a probation violation and an additional stalking charge, which he got 10 years for. But it's on 2020, Dr. Conrath. It's an interesting story. You can find it on YouTube, Konrath. I just watched it again tonight. I'd watched it before one time. Nice guy. And, honestly, I don't think he planned to kill his wife. It doesn't really matter because that's not what got him the 10 years. The 10 years is I think he was like, crazy over one of these bimbos he was attracted to. And it cost him 10 years because they'd set him up and the girl called the police and it violated, it's in and of itself, that crime in and of itself, he probably wouldn't went to prison for that either. But all that stupid shit and it ruined his life. And he was obviously a smart, accomplished guy. But when it comes to chasing these certain type women, it
Well,
took him down.
what happened was, this is what happened was he got too cocky and his ego got too big, and you start making some bad decisions and
Again, but
it's
if you listen to the
awful.
women and you see these women,
I'm not saying that he wasn't like a great, I'm not saying like, I'm not trying to like judge him or whatever, but like when you get too cocky and when you get too comfortable, is usually when things start hitting the fan because
they just Rita saw it. Yeah, I just don't get the women he was with. I mean, there's guys that oil change guys on the bottom of the ladder that have better women than this. It's just weird to me. The one he married in Mexico, I understand that one, but not the ones that ended up getting him in all this trouble. And they cleaned out his bank account and they didn't get charged. And there was other bullshit. But if he'd have not got involved with some of these bimbos, he'd probably still be practicing.
well, I mean, everything happens for a reason, Tom.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
so weird.
I don't know his like day-to-day life, and I can't, really speculate on
Yeah,
everything, but
yeah, crazy. Well, I think I'm going to go to bed. Bye.
alrighty.
You working tomorrow?
No, no, I might do a YouTube video tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah, do one. On what?
Well, I've done some things with, actually, I might, no, we'll see. I did some things to my backyard and I planted a bunch of things and
Uh,
I got some stuff going on. And I have some pictures of some things that I've been doing with the house. So we'll see.
all right. Well, good luck. Wear a string
Okay.
bikini.
Okay.
All right. All
All
right. Well, you
right.
have a good night. Thanks for
All right.
coming on.
Yep. Bye, everybody.
I'll talk to you later. See you guys. ACB, Chris, Christine, Rita, Party. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you. I'll talk to you later. Bye, Pug.